Good. Check 1, 2. We're live?
We're live.
We're live. Hey, we're live. Getting the inside scoop. Getting ready to get started. You gonna start it?
Yeah.
We're live. We're live now. Do you want to talk on the...
I don't. I was just getting some footage of the room.
See? This is live TV.
Hold it.
Hold on. My mom. Good morning, Houston. All right, let's try it again. Morning, Houston. Good morning. Hey, ahoy. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the Pulse Chain Tour. Good to see a full room. Looks like the bull market's in. You guys wouldn't have been here 3 months ago. I'll guarantee it. Anyway, this is the Better Than Bitcoin event, this tour this year. I don't know if you've heard me say that, but there's reasons why we call Hex better than Bitcoin, and we'll go through some of that today. How many new people do we have here? Okay, so you're new to crypto completely or just new to the Hex ecosystem? All right, good. Well, then we're going to get through a little bit of basics here for you. We're going to get into it with Hex, Pulse Chain, PulseX. By the way, does anybody know what this is? This isn't the whole NFT. This is the origins of the NFT. If you look at the real NFT that you all get, everybody gets an NFT.
Not that one.
Not this one. You're going to have the one with, with Brandon on there and his music.
Everyone that bought a ticket to this event gets the rocket ship Houston NFT.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that was
the
a special
Texan token NFT. Sorry, everybody. You get the Houston Rocket. Houston Rocket. Okay, got it. All right. I'm on the thing. There we go. So, you guys know, I'll tell a little bit about myself. Thank Kaylin and, SJ for setting everything up and getting everything done and managing the whole process here. This is part of a global tour this year, guys, so we're expanding from last year. Last year we toured the nation, and this year we're actually going to go to Europe and Australia, and maybe we're thinking about Canada, maybe. I don't know, maybe we're talking about it. All right, so who am I? Well, I was just a regular guy, millwright. Anybody know what a millwright is? All right, good. Dang. Oh, we're in Texas. You guys got working folks out here. Well, basically all I did was pick things up and put them down. I moved heavy stuff, real heavy shit. Like big presses that weighed 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million pounds. And that's what I did for a living. So my back is wrecked, my neck is wrecked, and I didn't make a whole lot of money doing it, but I was able to survive in Southern California. Why? Because I was an entrepreneur on the side. So I'd work 14 hours a day and then be an entrepreneur on the side and keep mom at home with the kids and all that good stuff, because I wanted a traditional kind of family, but it took a lot of time and effort to do. While I was becoming an entrepreneur, I ran into these Bitcoin forums on a chat room called IRC. I was building a gaming platform for a game called Counter-Strike at the time, and saw it, didn't think much of it. But then in 2014, somebody asked me for some Bitcoin, for some software that they were developing for us. So I was like, oh, that PayPal thing, whatever. I didn't know what it was really in 2009 when they were coming to us. And so I got the wallet set up and figured out how to do it and sent them the Bitcoin, and there was about 30 bucks left in it. And then in 2015, somebody else asked me for some Bitcoin just a few months later. And when I went in that wallet, there was like 800 bucks in it. So I was like, well, hey, wait a second, there's something going on here. So I dove into Bitcoin and read the Satoshi white paper, and then I was up for like 72 hours just in crypto going, holy moly, this is going to be the thing. This is going to change the world. So I was in. I was all in after I read that. And what happened was I started noticing that there was nothing but these pump and dump rooms. There were scams. There was garbage everywhere. And I was in all of them. You know, the only one I didn't get into was BitConnect. And that's because Trayvon was the guy that was, you know, out there promoting it, and I didn't like what he was doing, so I figured it was going to be a bunch of bullshit. And it ended up being bullshit, but everything else I was in was bullshit too. So I got tired of it, and what I noticed was there were some YouTubers out there that kind of had a little something else going on, and that's when I saw Richard Hart. And that's me and him, by the way, if you don't recognize him. He wears these like 3-inch boots too, so he's not that tall. He isn't. And I'm not that short. Some of you guys think I'm like 4 foot tall, right? So anyway, I saw that he had called the top of 2017 Bitcoin, right? And I was pissed off at him, said, man, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And then Bitcoin dumped the next day. So I unfollowed him. It was like really pissed off that he had called the top, right? But then I realized it wasn't his fault, and that, you know, this guy's really smart. I should probably listen to him. So I started following him again, started watching all of his videos, and I noticed something about the guy. He was different than the rest of the influencer out there. He didn't have a chart behind him, and he wasn't talking about trading. He was saying, stop gambling. Stop doing these kinds of things, you know. And when I was 28 years old, I was living under a bridge, and somebody helped me out and said, hey, stop doing this crap that you're doing, and they helped me get out from what I was doing. So my whole life has been really, since I was 28 years old, helping others, you know, get off of drugs and alcohol and get out of prison, that kind of stuff. So that was my charitable work on top of, you know, being an entrepreneur in a millwright. So I liked what Richard Hart was doing. He resonated with me. So I followed him, and he started talking about building a crypto, and he was calling it Fluid Dynamics Coin at the time. And that went over my head. I didn't know what the heck he was talking about. And then he started talking about Bitcoin Hex. And he started talking about it being a certificate of deposit. And I was like, okay, I know what that is. You know, and that's a $7 trillion market space. And if crypto can fit into something like that and be totally decentralized, then that's probably something I'd want to get into. So after watching him for a while and looking at his projects, I got involved in Hex in January of 2020 when it launched. And I'm sorry, 2019 for the AA lobby. And take all my crypto that I had left and everything and just slid it all in and said, let's see what this thing does. And of course, that's changed my life forever. Even at a 98% dip that we had, I'll never have to work again. And my whole mission here has been to go help other people that have worked as hard as I have that don't have anything left. You know, 401ks are now 104ks, and we don't have anything to look forward to as far as retirement or, you know, unless you become an entrepreneur. Look, not everybody can be an entrepreneur. There's a lot of hardworking, honest people out there that's not their thing, you know, but they didn't do anything wrong. They produced. In fact, if you look at the numbers, the production of the global worker on top of the American worker has hockey sticked over the last 15, 20 years. And all of our income has just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. And all our benefits have dropped and dropped and dropped. All the money we save has dropped and dropped and dropped. And now they're diluting the money that we could save by printing trillions and trillions of dollars. So we've got problems. And crypto changed my life. Hex crypto changed my life. So that's what I did. I started community building. I opened up I'm not a YouTuber. Well, I am now, I guess, but I wasn't. I just turned it on and said, hey, this smart community, this Hex community needs to be showcased. So I started showcasing the community. We made a movie. If you don't know, it's called The Highest of Stakes. It's on the, you can get on Apple TV, Amazon Prime, I believe, and a few other of the any streaming on demand or video on demand, you can get it on. And they show it on airplanes too. So I also created a firm. It's a family firm that is called MCA, Mountain Crypto Advisors. We're in the middle of a big revamp of it all, but we help people mitigate their taxes and move their crypto from the fiat world to the trust world and keep their assets protected. Also, we created the Hex Investment Trust. Me and my partner Kinetics and Wales Only. You guys know who those two guys are. We have paper Hex out there, guys. It's a private offering at this point, but we're hoping this bull market is going to go public. So we will have the grayscale version of Hex out there. It already exists. So the tour, I educate via the tour and our YouTube channel, Discourse Syndicate, if you don't know what Discourse Syndicate is. So you're early, and by being in here, you've already shown that you're smart and apart from everybody else, and you're ahead of the curve. Why? Because you're in true DeFi. What the heck was that? Paparazzi. So there's about to be a split in crypto. Now, it's already happened. A lot of people just don't recognize it. And it's centralization and decentralization. They are buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin over-the-counter OTC trade every day. Billions are going through every single day. You can see the wallet transfers if you go to, if you want to know, come see me after and I'll give you the site to go, or the app to get. But you can see the OTC trades going on, and over the last few months, it's been billions a day. And it was just, a couple 100,000 a day. Now it's billions. So they're moving the money, and they're doing it off-chain. I mean, not off-chain, but off the exchanges, so you can't see number go up. If they were buying those on the exchanges, the number would be going crazy right now. And we're already starting to see moves. So it's coming. The bull market's in, and it's going to get real crazy real soon. We've already asked that. So why crypto? Well, we're having a fiat crisis. I talked to you about, they're printing our dollars out of existence. They're putting so much of it out there that it's diluting all of our dollars. And it's been doing this. It's been getting worse ever since the 1970s when we got off the gold standard. And we all know that. If you don't know what the banking systems have done, just go out there and look at it. And you can start to see that, people used to think that, money goes to the bank takes your money when you put in a savings account and they lend it out to other folks for an interest rate. That's not how it works. See, the money that's printed, the banks get a hold of that because your money is just a liability to them. They have a liability column with all your money in it, and the government loans them these 10 times over the amount that they've put in your savings into their banks. So it's just getting ridiculous, out of control, and I think it's more than 10 now with all the trillions that have been printed.
In the world, the reserve currency is under duress.
There you go. But here's the one thing that I want everybody to understand. The dollar's in trouble, but everything else is too. So even though the dollar's in trouble, it's still king. Even with all the splits and everything else, it's still king. But it's garbage, and it's getting dumped on all of us and the whole world. See, our biggest export in America, it's not oil, it's not corn, it's not wheat, it's debt. We put our debt we dump it on the heads of the whole rest of the world, and the world is suffering because of it. So what can change this? Cryptography, Bitcoin, decentralized finance. We'll talk about that in a minute here. But cryptography is just a way to proof things and make them to where we, the people, can actually take control of that money system. And we can do that through crypto. Now what that does is, and I'll go over that when we go into Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that, is that it allows us to securely create money on the internet and transfer it back and forth, peer-to-peer, between one another, without banks, governments, or 1%ers having to hold it. It's just us and the code. We eliminate those middlemen that have been screwing us for all of these years. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more too. So why now? Of course, the inflation crisis, like we've talked about. And the cryptography, This is the technology that's coming out that we're going to be using to change the world. And it's DeFi, decentralized finance, not CeFi. There's going to be a split, like I told you. And it's going to be a CeFi world and the DeFi world. Centralized exchanges and the big banks are coming in. That's what I was telling you, those billions, that's them taking your Bitcoin. That's them taking your crypto. That's them taking control of it. We already see the mining pools and what they've done. If you don't know about the Bitcoin mining pools, go read up a little bit about that. What they've done is they've created it to where you can't mine without being part of these pools because it's not profitable unless you're in the pools. And what that does is it puts all the miners in one team. Once you've done that, then you can do what's called the 51% attack. You can actually fork the network and say, no, our consensus is right, the rest of yours isn't. So there's a security vulnerability there when it comes to the mining pools in Bitcoin. Just one of the problems of Bitcoin. So everybody's heard of Bitcoin, right? All right. Everybody has heard of Ethereum, right? Okay. Who has heard of Hex? Okay. Well, what we're going to talk about first is what a blockchain is and why it's important. So it's the underlying tech of crypto. It's a secure, so it's a digitally secure block of hashes, transactions, whatever. Here's how it works. So Bitcoin mining, if you don't know what Bitcoin mining is or what it only does two things. So you buy this device. You used to be able to do it on a computer. You can do it on a laptop in the early days. Not so much anymore. Now you've got to buy a miner. And this thing is loaded with, high-tech equipment that runs at breakneck speeds and takes up a lot of juice. A lot of juice, like crazy amounts of power. So this miner has to create or go through this program. It's just an algorithmic, mathematical program. Like your teacher used to tell you, hey, show the work. Don't just do the division and just put the answer in. I want to see all the work, right? Well, that's what the miner has to do, is show all the work. So it goes through this program and runs all this ridiculous, nonsensical mathematical program to say, hey, I'm a Bitcoin miner, I'm secure, right? So once it's done that and said it's okay, and look, the tech guys are going to get on me for this, but I'm just simplifying it for everybody, right? So once the miner says, hey, I'm good, I solved the problem, I've spent all the energy and wasted it on nothing, just proofing myself, now I'm going to keep the ledger, which is the other part. So here's the ledger. So RG has a Bitcoin, he's going to send it to SJ. SJ has an account, I have an account. That's it, a cryptographic signature is each of our account numbers. Now, I send that through the system. The system takes that transaction and says, yep, RG has a Bitcoin, SJ has an account, RG sends the Bitcoin to SJ, now he has 0 and she has 1. And it says that's the transaction. Well, now this has to go get validated by another couple hundred of these miners doing the same thing. They all have to say the same thing and have the same chain of transactions behind it. The very first transaction in Bitcoin from Satoshi all the way to mine and SJ's has to be identical every single time. So it runs through it, it says, yes, you're identical. And anybody who's not gets kicked out of the system. You're booted. You're slashed. You're not part of the system anymore. Has to be identical. So our transaction gets hooked to the very next transaction once it's validated enough times. Boom, the blockchain. Now our transaction is linked to all the other ones before it, and the next transaction that links to us will have us and all the transactions out after it. And that's basically the blockchain and how it works. It's just information being linked together that you can verify that it's always been the same. And that's why when you hear forks, it's just the block changing at a certain point, it forks off and starts a whole new chain. That's what happened with Ethereum when Pulse Chain came out. This is a consensus network, what I'm talking about. So reusable proof of work solves the double spend problem. So the problem with cryptography was there was a problem where you could say, hey, I'm sending her Bitcoin. Now I'm sending her another Bitcoin. Oh, I'm sending her another Bitcoin. So I can have as many Bitcoin as I want. But this blockchain and the proofing of it with the work proof with Bitcoin mining is what stopped what's called the double spend problem. 2008 was when the Bitcoin white paper came out. That's when I first heard of it. They were trying to sell us in-game cryptocurrencies at the time. WoW and a few others, they started doing it. You know, we didn't think it was worth a crap at that time. Should have listened to them. So the history of Bitcoin. So first of all, I need to let you guys know I'm not a Bitcoin maxi if you haven't heard me talk before. I don't think much of Bitcoin other than, hey, it started crypto and it gets its just deserves for that. You know, and just like, Super 8 film started the video streaming of today. You know, hey, cool that somebody came up with the technology to do that, but we need to move on and make things better. Bitcoin was just the start. Satoshi Nakamoto was the supposed developer of Bitcoin. I got to turn this on. The first peer-to-peer digital transfer occurred, like I was telling you, solved that double spend problem. Now, Bitcoin has a program scarcity model into it, just like gold. They tried to put this scarcity model in thinking that it was going to create price action because it was rare. Problem with that is it's not really getting that rare. And then they actually have this thing called the halvening this program. We'll talk about that too into it. But 21 million Bitcoin is all that there will ever be. So every time one of those miners creates that transaction and sets it in the blockchain, they get a little bit of Bitcoin dust from that bucket of 21 million. And every 4 years it gets harder. It gets split in half. It's harder for them to mine. So they were making 1 Bitcoin for what they did last year. They're only going to make a half a Bitcoin this year because of the halvening, which comes every 4 years. Just makes it harder, twice as hard for the miner to mine the Bitcoin. So that means that Bitcoin's not going to be completely mined for about another 120 years. So that's how scarce it is. None of us are going to care. So it's not built on what's called modular code. It's built on this spaghetti code. So Bitcoin was built to make it easy for everybody. Again, for any of you developers out here, you can come bitch at me later, but I'm going to make it easy for everyone. That's Bitcoin. This is Ethereum. This is spaghetti code. This is modular code. Things don't give you problems. Bitcoin has had 3 inflation bugs. If you don't know what an inflation bug is, that means that 3 different times people could have minted as much Bitcoin as they want. Actually, I think they've had 3 bugs. It was 2 times that there was an inflation bug. I'll have to double check that. But I think there were 2 inflation bugs. Luckily, the first time they forked the chain, meaning they made that fork and said, oh, that's a bad blockchain now, so let's create another blockchain. So they created another blockchain, forked it. And then the second time, luckily a Bitcoin Cash developer found the problem and he told us, hey, guys, I found a problem in here. When we were forking Bitcoin Cash, you had a bug in here that we could have created as many Bitcoins as we wanted. And what would that do to your scarcity model, right? So anyway, spaghetti code. Every time they open it up and try and reprogram it to do something, they screw it up. So nobody wants to work on Bitcoin. They're building things around it like a Rube Goldberg machine. The branding, somebody else owns Bitcoin.com versus the actual foundation. So it's just horrible. Layer 1, Bitcoin clearly can't handle the volume of transactions that's out there. It takes forever to do a Bitcoin transaction. So it's slow, it's dilapidated. So Taproot and Lightning Network are these things that they're trying to connect to Bitcoin to make it better and give it more features and functions because they don't want to open up that code anymore to try and program anything into it. So there's building things around it and creating a Rube Goldberg machine. If you don't know what that is, that's where the ping pong ball drops down, hits the ladder, knocks over the balloon pops, and all that kind of crap. So yeah. And the other thing is mining pools, centralized exchanges control, and they want fees and money for all the stuff that they're doing. So the centralized exchanges are not our friends. They're just like the banks of crypto. They are taking your money and holding your keys. Not your keys, not your crypto. If we don't have control of this money and they get control of it, we may as well be back on the dollar. Forget crypto. It's garbage at that point once it's centralized. This is what we're in right now, and this is something that everybody should focus on. Remember I was talking about that halvening? The halvening happens every 4 years. This is the chart showing you every 4 years. And this is where we're at right now. Well, we're right about the edge of this line right now. We're a couple of months away from this line. We should probably fix that. So this is what happens every 4 years to the market. And when the money flows into Bitcoin, it ends up flowing into the altcoins also, which is where we're at. So the DeFi space, we're going to catch on a little bit later as Bitcoin starts to move, and it's already moving. If you haven't seen, we hit 50K the other day. I think it was 51K, didn't it go 51? So 52. So we're here. We're starting to go up. And this is supposed to be the biggest bull market that we've ever seen. They might take this thing, I've heard numbers from 11 trillion all the way to $16 trillion. Last one, we went to 3 trillion. So if we're going to go, I think it's going to be somewhere between 7 and 11 trillion, but who knows? It could go higher. So this is where we're at right now in the cycles. Now let's talk about Ethereum. So Ethereum changed the spaghetti code model, came up with Solidity, and now not only do you have a blockchain, you have programming called Solidity to actually make your own cryptos, make better cryptos, decentralized cryptos, and not have to build them on spaghetti code. So Ethereum has done real well with this. It's called a smart contract. So they figured out that not only can we have a peer-to-peer transaction, which is the concept that Bitcoin fixed for us. It was just a concept. Hey, look, we could transfer money back and forth. That's all Satoshi said. It's a cash system. Well, it failed as a cash system because it's also a scarcity model, which is like gold, and you can't use gold to buy anything either. I mean, think about it. I don't know about you guys, but my father died a couple years ago, and I went home, got all of his stuff. They opened the safe. They said, here's all of your dad's gold. And I looked at it, and I remember when a kid, you know, it was great-granddad's gold, my granddad's gold, my dad's gold, and then I took it home and I threw it in the safe with my gold. So where's it going to go? My kids are going to put it in their safe and hand it down their kids. Nobody's using this stuff. We're holding it, you know, but I just think there's better ways to do money now. And I don't think that gold, look at gold's prices. It's the same as it was a decade ago. But smart contracts have proved that we can take this crypto and make it do better things, like Hex. So it's been around for 8 years. The 2.0 rollout happened. That means now instead of a proof of work model like Bitcoin, it is now a proof of stake model. But they've got problems. It takes 32 ETH to become a validator. If you know, Ethereum is like $2,800 right now. And 32 of those things is going to cost you a lot to be what's called a validator, which is like a miner, but without all the electrical waste. Validators do kind of the same thing. They keep the ledger and help the system. So by putting your value into that miner and holding it there, saying I'm not going to spend it, then they're going to let you validate the transactions versus the Bitcoin is, hey, I got to proof myself while using all this wasted electricity. Well, now we have validation, which is the next step into advancement of crypto. Scaled incorrectly because now, see, if Ethereum keeps going up in price, the fees are going up in price because you have to pay gas in Ethereum to do a transaction. I've actually had to take $800 worth of ETH to take a stake out of existence. That's how expensive and ridiculous. And this is coming from a little skinny guy that said that 5-cent transactions are ridiculous. Go see the video. Vitalik says that Bitcoin transaction costing 5 cents was ridiculous, but his transactions are $800. So I'd like to see him explain that one. So the improvement solutions have been non-existent or slow to launch. We made this presentation a year ago, and they still haven't rolled out everything that they should be rolling out with the ZK stuff and everything. So big problems with Ethereum. They're moving slow. Pulse chain's not. We're going to talk about that. So here's a little glossary of terms for you new folks if you want to take a picture of it or whatever. When we talk about ERC20, that's an Ethereum request for comment 20. meaning it is a new crypto being developed. So Hex is an ERC20. Any crypto that's built on Ethereum is an ERC20. A PRC20 is a Pulse request for comment, meaning it's built on the Pulse chain. So we have PRC20s on the Pulse chain, which is a fork of Ethereum with all of its advancements and upgrades. An ICO is initial coin offering. That was the things that used to scam us back in 2017.
What's an IDO?
An IDO, what do you mean an IDO?
That's just, I've seen it, so that's okay.
No, after the show here, we'll talk. So day one is the day a crypto launches. So if you're a day one Hexagon, you got in the day it launched, and you didn't listen to Richard. He told you don't FOMO in day one. I didn't, and not because I was smart, because I fell asleep at the wheel and I didn't get in on time. But I ended up in the middle of January, which was much better. The end of January. Dollar cost average means you're going to put a little bit in every week, every month, every year, whatever it is. Dollar costing yourself into a crypto versus putting all of your money in at once helps you, because crypto is very volatile, flows up and down. And if you're just putting a little bit in weekly, monthly, you're not hitting all the highs and lows unless you're very, very unlucky. And every time you come in, it's just mooning on you. Hold on a second, I just lost my clicker. FUD, fear, uncertainty, to doubt. That's when people start talking shit on Twitter. FOMO is the fear of missing out. That's when everybody gets a little too excited on Twitter. Sacrifice is when you actually take your money, your value, your crypto, and you throw it in the trash in hopes of maybe getting something from somebody else. That's what a sacrifice is, meaning that you're sacrificing for a concept or an idea or a political statement, and you're not expecting anything, but you're giving it up in hopes that maybe you'll get something in return. A rug pull is when liquidity is pulled out of an exchange. So let's just say you're buying a crypto and the liquidity is getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and everybody's buying it and it's moving up, and then the guy that owns the biggest part of the pool pulls it all out from underneath you, or the guy that put the program together takes all the liquidity out and pulls out from underneath you, and then you end up sending the thing to zero when anybody sells. Anybody wants to talk about that afterwards, we can talk about liquidity providing and all that kind of stuff. Pump and dumps, we talked about that. That's when a bunch of guys in one room say, hey, everybody, let's put a bunch of money in this thing and see everybody come in. And then they put a bunch of money in. Everybody in the other room is FOMOing, so they're all getting in, they're putting their money in, and then these guys over in this room say, hey, okay, it's time to sell, let's sell it. And they sell it, and everybody who was sitting there coming in at the end is the ones that got stuck holding the bag. It's really kind of a Ponzi scheme or an hourglass type of situation, a controlled hourglass situation, what a pump and dump is. A layer one or an L1 is a blockchain. There's a difference between a crypto and a blockchain. So an ERC20 like Hex is a crypto, is a token, is a coin. A layer one is the blockchain, the tracks that it runs on. Pulse chain, Ethereum, Bitcoin are all blockchains or layer ones. Liquidity is the amount of dollars, the amount of crypto that is in a trading pair for you to go and trade on. Now, centralized exchanges, they control that. They have all the liquidity. On a decentralized exchange, we, the people, get to put our value up there and let people trade our value for little scratches of fees. So we get to be the system versus the centralized exchanges, which is what we want, decentralized exchanges, DEXs. Pulse X is a decentralized exchange. So DeFi, the future of finance. We don't want centralized exchanges. Ethereum's got problems. Bitcoin is just the beginning. We need something better, and we have gotten better. Hex, Richard Hart created Hex, and it's a better Bitcoin. Here's why. So it's more secure because it's built on Solidity, meaning it's not spaghetti code, and it has that packetized data that I was telling you about. So every function in it is just a piece of code. Again, tech guys, shut up. You take the code, you plug it in. That's the send feature. You take the code, you put it in. That's the receive feature. You take a code, you put it in. That's the staking feature. Boom. So everything is just a little bits of code that has been gone over and over and over again, and it's perfect in its little package. And every time you plug that in and you plug it in properly, you've got real simple, easy, non-corruptible code that you can have a more secure cryptocurrency on versus Bitcoin spaghetti code. So he did a better job at it. So we could send it back and forth, and then the inflation model versus mining in Bitcoin, the inflation model of Hex is you have a function in there that you can stake it, meaning you can treat it like a CD. You take a certain amount, put it out a certain amount of time, and if you honor that time, you're going to end up with more Hex at the end of it, no matter what. No matter what, you're going to end up with more Hex. 3.69% inflation a year. In the code, Hex is minted at 3.69%. And that Hex that is minted every single year goes to the stakers. Whoever's staking, your distance and the amount that you put in on that date is sprinkled with the inflation of Hex every single day. Delayed inflation. No other fiat currency, cryptocurrency, or anything has delayed inflation, meaning that some of the inflation of Hex is going out for 15 years, landing on stakes and staying there, not coming out for 15 years. And then when it comes to that date, maybe not all that Hex is going to be taken out. Maybe a whole bunch of that goes right back in. So your actual inflation may go out another 15 years. So we may not ever see that some of this inflation for 30 years. That's how important this is to the money system. It can be transferred safely, like we said. It has the first non-custodial staking feature. So if you want to stake your Bitcoin or you want to stake your Ethereum or any of that, you have to give up your keys. You have to give up your coins to a centralized exchange in hopes that they're going to pay you back some interest. That's how staking works in the real world versus in the Hex world. We don't have to worry about it. It's code that gives us our staking rewards. So it's been working for 4 years, almost 5 now. Well, this year will be 5. No problems whatsoever. Talked about the inflation model and Bitcoin's mining inflation. Now you all know what staking versus mining is. And self-custody is just you and the code, 3.69 inflation, and you are your own bank. So here's the other cool feature. So a CD you can take out of the bank anytime. You can take it out early if you want, but the bank is going to penalize you for that. Guess who keeps that? The bank. In Hex, you stake. You got to get out early, but for whatever reason, people do have to do their own thing. If they unstake, they get penalized. Where does that go? It doesn't go to Richard. It doesn't go to the Hex Foundation. It goes to the stakers. So on top of making your rewards, you're making penalty fees from all the people who couldn't honor their contract. So you're the bank. You're the bank in the CD situation. So Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain launched in May of 2023, just a few months ago, 9 months old. Active users. We have over almost 1 million unique wallet addresses. So that means that we have that many wallets connected to the Pulse Chain now. The validators, which are basically the miners that create that consensus mechanism in Bitcoin, the validators create the consensus mechanism in Pulse Chain. And here's what's important for those of you who are new to Pulse or are in Pulse now and you got a big bag of it. The validators cost 32 million Pulse. That's about $2,800, I think, somewhere around there, maybe a little more. Been going up, right? 32 million Pulse to create a validator. So close to $3 grand, $2 grand for the equipment if you go to David Fetter and get his equipment. Set it up, simple, easy. It's all, plug and play basically. Doesn't use a whole bunch of power at your house. You couldn't run a Bitcoin miner at home. Not even 1 amp miner could you run at home without wasting too much energy. California, forget it. You couldn't run it. The electricity costs would eat you up and you wouldn't be making any. Plus you couldn't be in a pool with just one miner. But we have 52,000 active validators as of now. 52,000 validators. That means that the network is growing, expanding, becoming more and more decentralized. Richard Hart put 16,000, I think it was, validators out right when Pulse Chain launched. Within a month, he took them down and burned all of the Pulse that was in them. Said, now we have a network of validators that are anonymous, that are everybody else out there. So he burned all those miners, or all those validators, sorry. And now we have 52,000. So Validating is important, and you might want to get yourself a little validator and get it started. Why? Because in the future, when pulse chain goes up to a penny, 2 pennies, 3 pennies, 4 pennies, 5 pennies, being able to validate is going to get a lot more difficult. Right now, it's cheap to do.
What do the validators pay out?
I think it's right now it's about 10.6% or something like that. Yeah, it was 14 at first when we started. Yeah, it fluctuates. So between 8 and 12 is where we're at right now. There was a point where it was about 14. Now it's between 8 and 12, but it depends on the traffic. So here's the timeline of what's going on between Ethereum and Pulse Chain and what they look at how identical they're looking right now. That was Ethereum's launch, and this is Pulse Chain's launch. Insane how it's doing that. This is going to be a fun one, guys. We're going to have a great year. So DeFi is here because of Pulse Chain and PulseX. So Richard Hart created Pulse Chain to make Hex better. Let me let that sit in with everybody real quick. Richard Hart created Pulse Chain to make Hex better because it was sucking on Ethereum. Ethereum was taking all the juice out of Hex. You couldn't short stake. You short stake, it cost you just as much in fees to take those stakes out if they were just a few bucks worth. So thanks to Pulse Chain, we have true DeFi. Why? Because of those validators, 52,000 unique validators, almost 1 million addresses. Solves the scalability issue of Ethereum. Now we've got a network that we can run on that's not all gummed up, not all plugged up, and doesn't have high fees. Proof of stake model versus proof of work. It's completely proof of stake, meaning no wasteful electricity is being used. I don't know why the Bitcoiners are, well, I know why the Bitcoiners are still on it, but they want to say proof of work is more important than proof of stake, and that is just not true. This is just as good as the consensus model, it's a better consensus model. So PulseX. PulseX is the exchange that I told you about. It's decentralized, meaning that we, the people, put our money up there for other people to trade, and we get fees every time it goes back and forth. Now, don't think that it's just that easy to do. You need to really study and look into liquidity providing, or what they call LP providing. If you've got big bags, it's beneficial to you to do so instead of just letting it sit there in the bank. If you got a lot of PulseX, take it and put it on the exchange and provide liquidity. But be very careful about what you do, because there is something called impermanent loss. Meaning, when you put your value up on a decentralized exchange, you have to put, well, there's a few different ways you can, but in general, what you do is you put both sides of what's called the trading pair. Let's just say $1, which is USDC, and let's just say Hex on the other side. Then one of them starts running up. Well, you're making dollars because they're buying your Hex, right? You're making dollars. But at a certain point, you lose your Hex, and all you've got stuck with is dollars. Well, let's just say Hex keeps running. Well, you've lost all your Hex, and you're stuck with this amount of dollars. Now, it's good for people who are trying to cash out and say, okay, well, I'm good. I won't take those dollars out now. But it's bad if you were sitting in Hex, and all your Hex sold at 3 cents, and now it's 50 cents, and going further to $1. You lost all that Hex. So you have to be careful of what's called impermanent loss in these trading pools. Sometimes it works to your benefit, but you really got to know what you're doing, and I would suggest that if you're interested in that, you study up on it. That's the LP farming, which, like I said, it puts the power back in the hands of us, and for doing so, we get paid incentives too. So on top of your coins swapping out or whatever, you're also being paid the fees that people are paying on the DEX are going to those people that are providing the liquidity. So that's how you make money. And what's best is when you've got two assets that are just seesawing together. Every time it pumps in like this, you're making money. Every time somebody's making a transaction. So you want to get in those kind of pools where you're doing that. You want to get in the other stuff, it's a little risky, and some people have higher risk tolerances than others. The next challenge is to exchange value on-ramping and off-ramping. So the biggest pain in the ass is taking our dollars and putting it into crypto. Now, most of us here know how to do that, but when we're trying to get mom in, or we're trying to get our dumb nephew in, or whatever, we're trying to get somebody into the system, it's a real pain in the ass to do. So That's the challenge, making that simple and getting people getting into crypto easy. I think once we have like a Robinhood app that really works well and everybody's getting in, that's how it'll work. Not your keys, not your coins. You need DEXs to make this happen. So the decentralized exchange allows you to keep control of your crypto instead of giving it up to the exchanges. You go into a DEX, you hook your wallet to it, you make your trade, you're gone. Your stuff's not in that exchange. You go up, boom, make your trade, you're out of there. It's back in your wallet instantly. Nobody's ever hold your coins. You go in and basically buy coins off of the market. This is going to be the biggest transference of wealth that the world has ever seen, the DeFi space. This is where crypto is going to start taking over, where if we get the message out, if we fill up stadiums instead of rooms, we're going to take over and solve the problem that the banks, the governments, and the 1% have created for us. We can take the money back over. There's more of us than there are of them. And they're starting to play the game too because they want a piece of it. And you're going to see that this year. Mark my words. By the end of this year, you're going to see all of them talking a whole different game. 2 years ago, Jamie Dimon and all them fools were calling this a scam. And now they're saying, well, this is the best thing since sliced bread. You need to get into our ETF. That's what's going on right now. You don't want to, if you get this right, you'll never have to work again another day in your life. Fastest growing technology. So the internet grew at a 40% clip. Fastest growing technology ever, the internet. The internet, that thing we all use now. We can't live without, right? I didn't have it when I was a kid. We didn't have cell phones. We had a bicycle, and we had the street lights tell us when we go home. That was it. That's all I had. Now we've got the internet. 40% clip. Crypto is growing at 120% per year right now. Fastest technology growth ever seen on the planet. So how do I get in? So let's talk about this real quick if you're new here and you're not even in. You have to connect your bank to a centralized exchange at this point. We like using OX Coast. It's a platform that was built by Hexicans. We call ourselves Hexicans if you don't know that. So the Hexicans built this thing called OX Coast. It gives you the ability to move your fiat currency, your dollars, into the crypto space and buy Hex, Pulse, PulseX, those things, right? So either way, you're either going to have to hook up to a centralized exchange like Gemini or Coinbase. I hate promoting those things, but that's kind of the way to do it, but OX Coast is a better way.
We can't use OX Coast in Texas.
VPN.
That doesn't work either.
Really?
Really.
My goodness. My goodness. So you connect to a centralized exchange. I only use centralized exchanges to go in and out, in and out. That's it. I'm done. I'm out in my wallet. It doesn't sit there for 5 minutes. It's out. So I use it just to transfer. So you're going to create after that what's called a software wallet. So it's just like your wallet. So you have your centralized exchanges, which is like your bank, which you don't want to keep your money in. And your wallet is just like a wallet that you hold. That's where you'll keep all your crypto. And you'll hook it to what's called dApps, or application, decentralized application. And that's where you'll keep your crypto in your wallet, hooked to different exchanges, different protocols, to the Hex front end to stake your Hex. That's how you'll do it from that wallet. And the wallet we like to use is Internet Money Wallet, created again by another Hexican called KG. He has the Internet Money Wallet, and I think you can actually onboard. No, he's trying to create an onboarding platform on Internet Money. That's coming soon. So after that, you're going to transfer from your SEX to your software wallet, or hot wallet they call them. And by the way, I forgot to tell you, your software wallet also connects to what's called a hardware wallet. If you haven't seen it, it looks like a thumb drive. But it's a hardware wallet. And what that does is it keeps your keys on it. So you'll enter your keys on the device. The keys stay on the device. They're never created by the wallet. I don't create my keys on wallets. On Internet Money Wallet or any of the wallets, I create my keys on my hardware wallet. That way they always stay there. They've never been connected to the internet. You can create keys on the software wallet, or what we call a hot wallet. But putting it on your hardware wallet, like a Trezor, is what you want to do. Put it on a Trezor, and then boom, you transfer it over through your software wallet to connect to the DEX. And every time that you want to make, say, a stake in Hex, it'll say, hey, your Trezor has to say it's okay for us to do this. Can we do this? And then you go to your Trezor and say, yes. And then the hardware wallet does the transaction, or the software wallet does the transaction. So that's basically what a hardware wallet is. It holds your keys and it allows you to connect back and forth between the gaps. So here is a step-by-step sign-up guide for Internet Money and OX Coast. If you want to get a picture of that or get that website saved, that's it. Like I said, it's currently a work in progress for Internet Money. And of course, OX Coast obviously is having some problems in certain geographic areas. But yeah, that's what that is. Everybody got it?
I used a family address in a different state. I don't know if that's getting me in trouble somehow, but that's how I'm able to use it in Texas.
All right.
Got one.
Strike that from the record.
So this is just a little shilling of some of the people in the community that have done a really good job that I promote just because they've done a good job. I don't get paid by them. But if you want to do a crypto course for beginner, use Bear Market for 25% off of Pulse Passive Income, which is Crypto Coffee's presentation. If you haven't heard Crypto Coffee, you're definitely going to want to go to his YouTube. He does the how-tos, and this guy is dialed in. He knows his stuff. He's probably the best YouTuber, the best informational trainer on Hex, Pulse Chain, and PulseX, and the other things in the ecosystem that we have. He's just the best. So he goes through security, digital assets, how to plan and control your future, lock funds in with yield from your Hex deposits. So Pulse Chain Tour is live streaming now. We're live streaming today, and we're going to be live streaming all the other events. So if you can't make it to the events, you want to hear more, there's going to be speakers here today. There's going to be speakers in different cities that we go to. They're going to just bring different content. So if you want to see them, you can go to pulsechaintour.com and watch all the events, without having to fly to the next state and do so. But I want to explain the importance of this. So here is where we network. Here is where we create friendships. Here's where we kiss hands and shake babies, right? This is what we do to make sure that we're connected to one another versus the 2D world we live in, which is Twitter and the internet and YouTube, and it's like, oh shit, that guy's real. He really is talking to me, speaking his story, telling his story. I talked to him afterwards. We had a drink. We went and ate lunch. Know what they're doing. I know what the staking strategies are of some of these guys. This is important. And eventually it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. My vision is to fill up stadiums with people learning about this because this has got to be a revolution. It's got to be a movement. If we don't, they're going to frickin' win, guys. I don't want the banks to beat all the people that I've worked hard for 30 years with. They kicked my ass. If I wouldn't have found this, I wouldn't be in this position. I'd be out there putting my boots on in the dark in the morning and taking them off in the dark at night. That was the thing I hated doing, and I got friends that are still doing that are disparaged. They're hurting. They're sitting on their couch drinking all night. They don't know what they're going to do. They're getting divorces. They're retiring and dying the next month. That's what they got out there. And everybody deserves and needs this. The world needs this right now. So we've got to get out there and start creating some community. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I tried to do it online. We did pretty decent, and now we're doing it in person. And I'm pleased to see a room that's all filled up. So that's it. And there are no more slides. We fixed the slides last night. I'm going to get hooked off the stage, but we're getting ready for the next speaker. Thank you, everybody. I'll be around. You can ask me any questions you want. I'll be here to talk. Yes, Jay.
Hi, I'm Lucas. Okay, thank you, RG. Great job. Come on up, our next presenters. I'm just going to set this here and get your all's presentation ready. Are you both going to be kind of speaking back and forth? Or is someone going to do the majority of the speaking?
No, we go back
Okay.
and forth. Yeah, I don't need a microphone.
Okay, so you speak louder?
I'm very loud.
Well, this is not. This is for the recording. This is for the live stream. Yeah.
Give it to Corey.
Okay.
Corey looks better with the mic.
Actually, I'm gonna put it inside so your chains are all blinging.
Bling bling, baby.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's right. We'll present like this the whole time.
You got a clicker? Yeah. Oh, you know what? That'd be best. That would be best. Yeah, I like
I
that.
want to get a feel for the room. Yeah, so we saw that there are a handful of, in fact, let's get we'll dial in the room a little bit. Who's got a hardware wallet? Who's some of the more advanced people? Oh, we got a ton of people. This is great.
Yeah.
Separate crypto computer? Oh, look at this room. This is great. Okay, cool. Real estate investors? We're in a real estate investing room. Got a few. Okay, cool. This is good. We got a good room here. This will be fun.
Do you have it in PDF form by any chance?
I do. I can send it.
Yeah, sorry, 'cause I don't.
Yeah, no, you're good. Hold that for a
Yep.
second.
Did you? What are you doing?
I'm a side company.
Okay.
So I bought a building, I bought a property.
Okay.
And now I'm trying to lease space there too.
Got it. Got it.
But yeah, hopefully the first of many.
We come from the real estate space ourselves. We're going to tell our stories here. That's our background. I did real estate for 10 years.
Been in it for a long time.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but part of the mission that we're on is using cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool and using real estate as a wealth preservation tool. And that's our full mission here. And
Which is why I drove down here from Fort Worth. So
oh yeah.
because I'm like, that's exactly what I'm wanting to do.
Yep. 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 Use the highest appreciating asset class known to mankind to create wealth and then preserve it with stuff like
me, Corey.
yeah.
Put this on here.
What? Let me do that. Okay.
Get all official and everything.
Got it. All right. We'll wait for Dane to send that over.
While we're waiting, I have a Puerto Rico question.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I'm an active validator.
Yep,
and
I am too.
In the next year and a half, me and my wife plan to move to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So with that said, electrical, I've heard there's grid issues.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the first part of your question there. The year and a half you're moving to Puerto Rico. Why are you moving in a year and a half?
Because she has a practice as a mental health therapist, and we need to try to work out.
Now, are you moving there because of Act 60?
No, we've always wanted to move there.
Oh, you just want to move there. Okay, I'm there for Act 60.
Like 5 different times. So
Okay.
if we can take advantage of that, I would like to.
Well, if you do, you got to think about this. You have to make your gains on the island. You can't make the gains here. So you move in a year and a half, that's going to be somewhere in 2025. Where's your portfolio going to be at when you move to the island? And you're going to have a cost basis that when you move to the island, you're coming pregnant with crypto. You get to pay your taxes in from that point, and then where you accumulated your crypto from. That cost, that delta. You have to pay taxes on that, and then any money you make afterwards, sure, you can get the tax-free benefits. So keep that in mind when you're moving out there, because most people don't realize you have to make the money on the island. So, all right, cool. We ready? Let's do it. All right, how's Houston doing today? How are you guys doing? Give me some hands. All right. Come on, you guys do better than that. How are you feeling today? Let's go. Come on. All right, that's a little bit better. That's a little better. Guys, can you do me a huge favor, too? Can you give RG3, Black Hatzikin, and Wild SJ a round of applause for doing this? Please. Thank you so much. These guys are freaking amazing. I love these guys. I've been watching RG3 since I first got into Hex. How many of you guys came out here to learn new ways to make money? Can I see a hand? All right. That's good. How many of you guys came out here to learn new creative ways to make passive income? Your real estate investors really understand that concept. And how many of you guys came out here, and I want to really feel this one, how many of you guys came out here to get fucking rich? Come on, let's go. Let's go. I'm serious. Let's go. All right. Cool. All right, Dane.
In fact, we need the pass me that one. We'll just do it. We'll just double mic it
Yep,
like
that
this.
works.
This will
Okay.
work. Then we can hear. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Go ahead and stand up for me. Everyone, stand up out of your seats. This is a good one. Anybody familiar with Michael Singer, Joe Dispenza, all that type of stuff? So what we're gonna do now, one of the most important things that you can do in order to be able to have your goals come to pass is to be able to, we'll go ahead and do a little manifestation exercise. Anybody? Oh, thank you, yeah. Anybody ever manifested something like it was magic in your life? Made some money, a relationship, a family. You feel like you're a lucky person. Yep. Hey. That's right. All right, cool. So go ahead and close your eyes. And what I want you to do here, and we're really going to get into our feelings, what I want you to do is I want you to visualize the goals that you have for yourself. We're here for talking about crypto, the next bull run, if this is like any of the last three, and visualize your goals into 2025, right? What do those look like? What do those feel like? What type of vehicles will you be driving? What type of houses might you live in? What kind of trips might you go on? How could you impact your community? What would it look like to give back to your church if that's something that you do? What does that feel like? I can tell you what it looks like for me. I can see my wife. I love doing this. I can see my wife's face, the smile on her face with some of the bucket list things, trips that we're going to take our family on that'll change her life and our kids' lives forever. It feels awesome. Take a big, deep breath in. And just feel the gratitude as you exhale all that stuff out. Now today, we're gonna go through, and like Corey said, we're gonna show you some of the cool new ways that we're using to make passive income. Maybe you guys might be using some of these on Pulse Chain yourself, but we're gonna go through a few of those to be able to help you get to some of those goals that you're envisioning today. Now maybe. Any idea what I need to do here? Anybody?
Wow, that's
Thing just shut down, so you probably have to tap it.
Let me try.
There you go.
Maybe.
It's coming. Give it a second.
Okay, I'll just be a little patient.
Takes a second to feed in.
I thought you were serious for just a second.
I knew exactly what he's talking about. We're the gamer generation.
We could go. This is going stories. We could do that for now.
Okay. There it goes. Yeah, that's the right one. We can get it up there. There we go. So let me tell you guys a little about my story, who I am, what I do, why I'm doing it, all that good stuff. So I got started in real estate about 10 years ago. It's between 8 and 10 years ago. That's where I met Dane here. And I tell everyone, real estate saved my life. It really did. I was going nowhere. I was a drug addict. I was an alcoholic. I was basically going to my deathbed. And because of money being dangled in front of me and because I wanted something more in my life financially, I started joining masterminds. I started going to events. I started getting in rooms around people who were trying to better their life spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. And so it leveled me up in all four of those areas. Now I'm sober for multiple years. I have a family, and I live in Puerto Rico. I owe that to real estate. Real estate made me a millionaire. I'm very grateful what I have done in real estate and the people I've met. I would have never met Dane here if it weren't for real estate. And a lot of what we do, guys, is we travel around the United States and we speak at real estate events with 500, 1,000 people in the audience, and we onboard them into Pulse Chain, which is what you heard RG3 talk about a little bit earlier. So, but we ended up winding down our real estate companies. I ended up winding mine down in 2022. I had a very robust wholesale and fix and flip company. And we had about 15 employees at my peak. And we were doing anywhere from 30 to 60 deals a month when I wound down the company. And I did it because I went in all in crypto, because I saw the opportunity that we are at right now. I sold my rental properties off, and I went all in where we're at in this stage of the market cycle. So this is where the opportunities are at. Make no mistake, but we're not giving up real estate. We want to use crypto as a wealth creation tool and use real estate as a wealth preservation tool. So when it comes time, we're going to go back into real estate in 2025. And in fact, in our mastermind that we got, our community, everyone in there is a real estate investor or an entrepreneur of some sorts. And we're going to go into their deals. We have apartment syndicators, mobile home park guys, have funds, and we're going to go back in their deals when the time comes. There we go. So that's a little bit about my story. It's been an amazing journey. This is also where I met Dane, so I'll let him kind of like tell his side.
Cool. And I'm curious, anybody get a start here or still in corporate America? Yeah? Raise your hand. Don't be ashamed. You're my people. Don't be ashamed. Cool. So I came from the corporate America world where I went, did way too much school. I got a master's degree, and I thought that would give me the keys to the kingdom. Maybe some of you have will fill this story. I thought that I'd go and get this fancy education. I'd step out, be able to have a cool job with benefits and all that. It's just a big freaking lie. That was my hope, right? So I found really quickly that I was going to have to kiss a whole lot of butts to be able to make the money that I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. And so I have had a few different experiences in my life where I feel like God reached out and touched down and created something pretty miraculous. One of the first main ones was getting let go from corporate America. I thought I had this cool new job. I'd literally been there 2 months. I was the second to last hire, and then they let everybody go. And it was an opportunity for me. I'd been looking at real estate investing for a number of months at that point. I called my wife on the phone and I said, "Good news, they just laid me off. I'm gonna go do this crazy real estate thing." And she said, "You know what, Dane? I believe in you. Go for it." So I was doing that, and it took 8 months. I'd spent $6,000 in marketing to try to find some deals and make some revenue. And I spent $6,000. I'd made $3,000, so I'm underwater $3,000 at this point. And my wife says, "You know what, Dane? I believe in you, but you've either got to do some deals to make some money, or you've got to go get a job, right?" And I'm like, "Well, you're not wrong, you know." So I told her I'd apply for a job, and I don't know if you guys have ever had an experience. I call these God experiences. I'd go and I'd put my hands on my keyboard on my computer to go and apply for these jobs that I said that I would, and everything in me said it was wrong. It wasn't right. It wasn't the right thing to do. And I'm telling you, I'd go put my hands on, and it was wrong. I'd take them off. It was right. I'd put it on, back and forth. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I've got it, God. So unbeknownst to my wife, I kneeled down on the ground, and I said, "You know what, God? I feel like I'm in the right place, but I need you to shake something loose here if this is going to work. Because it's not happening on my own. It's not happening on my own." And I said, "I'm not going to apply for any jobs. I got a list of people that I thought might want to sell their properties." I said, "I'm going to freaking call this list over and over and over again until I either make some money or I lose the house and cars." My wife doesn't know that. She probably would have left. But that's what I did. And it was pretty miraculous. In about 45 days from that prayer, 45 days later, I found a real estate deal that I stumbled through all the problems, and I cashed a check for $70,000 profit to me in 45 days. It's miraculous. And we've done millions of dollars since in real estate. But you get those nudges in life when it's time to make a change. And I was super focused. I was laser focused last crypto bull run on real estate. I was doing some crypto stuff. I got into crypto in 2017. I was dabbling a little bit, but I was laser focused on real estate because that's what everybody says to do well in something. You need to be laser focused, right? And so I was laser focused there. I made millions of dollars on real estate. I left tens of millions of dollars on the table because I wasn't more involved in cryptocurrency. And I got a nudge. My wife wanted to go on this cool vacation, and she said, "You know what, Dane, let's go on this vacation." And I said, "Great, let's do that. I just want to do a few more deals. Let's do a few more deals, then we'll go." She looked me in the face, and she said, "You know what, Dane, we have the money, but you don't have the freedom, and you told me that you built this business for freedom." Anybody here for freedom?
Yes.
Absolutely, freedom. She said, "You're not free," and I said, "You're right. You're absolutely right." So the last few years have been a journey to get more freedom. I sold off my 25-unit rental portfolio, millions of dollars there in real estate. I wound down my 7-figure flipping and wholesaling operation so we could go all in on crypto, because crypto, make no mistake about it, and I think you guys know this, I'm preaching to the choir here, crypto is the biggest opportunity over the next 2 years, and nothing's even close. Nothing. Like RG3 said, if you get this crypto thing right, you'll never have to do anything else ever again in your life to generate revenue. It's freaking wild. Once in a lifetime type of opportunity. And that's why we're here today. So we focus on, like Corey said, creating real wealth through cryptocurrency and over the next couple of years, and then preserving it through things like real estate, like oil and gas, and like business, mergers and acquisitions. Those are the things that we're really good at, and we're building our community around those aspects.
Any of you guys know who Robert Allen is? It's the very many. Robert Allen, no money down guy from the 1970s and 80s. He was on the infomercials teaching how you could buy real estate with nothing down. That was his big stick. He's a New York best time seller, multiple streams of income. And he's one of the OGs in the real estate space. He's a guru. We're truly blessed. We love showing this because we're usually talking in front of a lot of real estate guys. And most people know who he is, but we're truly blessed to be working with him. He's a Hetzican now. He's a Hetzican. He's a Pulsican. We onboarded him. He's a billionaire. And he's also part of our community. So we're truly blessed to be working with Bob here and bringing him into crypto. And he's in his late 70s. So if Bob can do this and he can come into crypto in his late 70s, any of you guys can. And you guys can do this. And it's been a true blessing because, you know, he's got a very open mindset about new opportunities. And that's what you have to have with crypto. You got to look at this as an opportunity that you're never going to have again, probably. I mean, we don't know how much longer these bull runs will come around. We don't know how long, you know, the volatility we're going to have in crypto. Right now is we're still seeing these massive gains, 20, 30, 50, 100, sometimes 10,000x. Hex did it 10,000x last cycle. Wrap your brain around that. It's just hard to understand. And so Robert, when we were talking on a stage one time, we got off stage, he comes up to us, he goes, I missed Bitcoin. I missed Ethereum. I'm not missing this bull run. You guys need to show me what you're doing. And that's how we got working with Robert. And so it's been really cool. You can take this one.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody in life, most people in life are out there in some form or fashion to be able to get enough passive income to be able to pay for their lifestyle, right? Everybody has some form of a dream where you sit in a log house or on a beach, whatever your dream may be, right? Well, the checks just roll in. And we found that just about everything you try to do this in, it doesn't work. It's a lie. In real estate is anything but passive. Even if you have a rental portfolio, you're either managing those rentals, or your team is, or you're managing the manager because they seem to have a shelf life of about 8 to 24 months before you're picking the pieces back up and needing to plug somebody else in because they're no longer doing their job. And so we want to make sure that we're focused on real passive income. And you guys, sounds like we've pulled the room. You guys are more advanced users. With crypto, we can have as passive an income as we've ever found.
All right, let's talk about cycles. So one of the biggest things that I did not know about when I first got into crypto was the cycles. And if you take one thing away from today, from us, is this. This is probably the single most important thing in crypto that everybody needs to understand besides security. Security is obviously the top because there's no point in making all that money if it's going to get it taken from you. Cycles are very important. I came in at the last market cycle top. I bought the top with Hex. I bought the top with a lot of other cryptos. I put hundreds of thousands of dollars in. And of course, I was not educated about cycles. So I lost all that money. Money went way down, right? 90%, 95% on some of these assets. And so if I'd just been a little bit more educated, it wouldn't have happened. And so by being in rooms like this, by joining masterminds, being around people who've been in crypto for a while, you'll start to understand, because they don't talk about this very much. It's really funny. I didn't know about it, and I watched all the big YouTubers, and they weren't telling me that I was in the top of the bull run. No one told me. I thought I was just going to go forever. Little did I know. So right now, we're still in the accumulation zone. The Bitcoin halving is in April, as most of you guys know. That's where the cycles revolve around. Everything's based around the Bitcoin halving, and that's what, just simply put, the inflation gets cut in half of Bitcoin. You've already heard RG3 talk about that this morning. And so we are right here in this cycle. We are teeing up for another bull run where we're going to have 12 to 18 months of just parabolic price action, and this is where the opportunity is now. Make no mistakes, and understanding the cycle is the first thing you can do to educate yourself about crypto. It's the same in any asset class. In real estate, well, you need to understand how cycles work in real estate and what controls and pulls the strings, like interest rates and stuff like that. Same in stock markets. You know, if you'd have bought real estate back in 2000, and I think it was 9, 10, and 11, that last crash, you killed it. Absolutely killed it. We get to do that in crypto every 4 years. It's really quite remarkable. There's no other asset class like this one. And we can rinse and repeat. And while we're in this bear market cycle, we can go back into real world assets like real estate. right? And then and oil and gas. We've got a couple oil and gas guys in our community that we've been doing some deals with. So this is what's so important about cycles that you really got to understand. And right now is the time. This is the opportunity. This is why we're all in right now, because of where we're at in the cycle.
All right, and you guys might be familiar with some of these examples, but gosh, from the last bull run, you didn't have to be a genius to make an obscene amount of money, right? So I'll give you a few examples. Here's Solana. You guys have probably seen some of this stuff. You'll notice down here, so these are weekly candles. You had weeks to come and buy things when they were cheap. Weeks. Anybody could have done this. This wasn't, one time and you had a 5-minute window to get in. Anyone could buy when it was cheap down there and hold it and sell when it's more expensive up here. That's $1,000 you could have turned into $500,000. Something like Polygon, same thing. You get to turn 1,000 into $1.2 million in a year. And something like Hex was really special. Top 5 all-time performing cryptocurrency in its first bull run. $1,000 to $10 million if you'd have played this perfect. Wild.
$10 million. Where am I ever going to get that in real estate? I can't. But I can take that $10 million and go preserve it in real estate. So, I mean, it's just, there's no other asset class like it.
Yep. Now, once again, the beauty of this is you don't have to play it perfect, right? You don't have to turn 1,000 into 10 million. If you can just generally buy when things are cheap and then sell when they're more expensive, you can do all right. And in fact, here's a really good example of our friend Dylan. Dylan was buying Hex when it was cheap and just holding it until it got more expensive. This is $3,000 into $900K in about a year. I didn't turn 1,000 into 10 million, but 3 to 900 isn't too bad. It's a good day at the office, right? Yep, a good day at the office.
So let's talk about what's more important that we like to look at is on top of cycles is what's going on with macro. We keep our thumb on the pulse of this because we are in real estate. We want to know what's going on in that space. We feel like it could also affect the cryptocurrency markets. Well, one of the things we know is they've been raising interest rates. That's one big thing for the last year and a half. And so we see the Fed fund rate going up. We see an inverse in the yield curve. But this year we have what's called the presidential election. And every time we have a presidential election, they like to do one thing, and that's to buy your votes. Well, how do they do that? By turning the money printer back on and basically handing out money like it's nothing and deflating our dollars. They're basically stealing from us, but it's just a lie that they're actually giving us money. They're stealing from us. But this is going to happen because it happens every single presidential election. In fact, Dane, what's that data that you always give? I love that talking point.
In fact, we'll take some guesses here. Did you know there's only been one president in the history of the United States that went up for re-election? The economy was good, and they were not re-elected. Any guesses who that was?
Sure.
Who?
I'm sure you know. You're in real estate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so that was Trump. Outside of Trump, it's 100% batting average. If you went up for re-election and the economy was good, you were re-elected. And if it wasn't, you were ousted. I don't think it's a secret to anybody here or anywhere in the rest of the country. The economy isn't in the best shape right now, right? So what can they do to try to make it look like it's going to get better in order to try to have that data on their side for re-election for this next year? Yeah, you go print money, right? You go print money, and we saw that playbook. We saw what happened during COVID. They printed a bunch of money, and a lot of it ended up in crypto. If you would have been there before all that happened, you did all right. Now, not only this, but RG3 did a great job outlining the Bitcoin ETFs were approved more recently. There's billions of dollars flowing into Bitcoin. You don't have to be a genius just to follow the big money. This isn't rocket science.
So let's talk a little about our strategy and what we're doing here. This is where we really dive into how we're using cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool. But all we're doing is very simply, and most of you guys probably here are already doing the same, is we're just going to buy. We bought all throughout 2023, and we're going to buy, Q1, maybe Q2 of 24, depending on what happens after the Bitcoin halving and where we see pricing going, especially in the ecosystems that we love, like Pulse Chain. But we're just going to buy. We're going to cash flow. For you guys in real estate, you understand that. You understand what cash flow. We love cash flow when we're in real estate. And then we're just going to sell when the market tells us and rotate back into real estate, go back into the wealth preservation part of the cycle. So we're doing wealth creation via cryptocurrency. We're gonna keep growing our portfolio through the cash flow. You can take some of it out if you wanted to. It's very liquid in a lot of the stuff that we do. And then we go and rotate back into real estate, oil and gas, merger and acquisitions in 2025. That is the full strategy that we're deploying right now. And let's show some tools that we're using, because most people don't understand the cash flow part. This is the part that when people hear about crypto, I ask them like, okay, what's your experience in crypto? They're like, well, I bought Ethereum and I was hoping for the number go up. Oh, and so you held it on a Coinbase and you were hoping for the number to go up. Yeah, but did you know you could take that Ethereum off of Coinbase and put it on the Ethereum blockchain and mine blocks with that and earn more Ethereum? No. Like, would you ever buy a rental property and not put a tenant in place? No, I would never do that. Well, then why are you treating your crypto the exact same way? It makes no sense. Most crypto has a utility, has a use case. You can make cash flow from it. You can produce more of that crypto. One of our favorite ways that we love, and we love that Pulse Chain is really innovating and kind of revolutionizing this concept, is what we call crypto dividends. So just like in stocks, if you own Coca-Cola, you get a small share of their profit every single quarter. It's a dribble because they have a big corporation with a lot of overhead. And it's stock dividends. Well, there are protocols, they're like businesses that live on the blockchain, that live on Pulse Chain. And anytime anybody engages with that protocol, they have to pay a fee. Well, where did all those fees go? Where did all the profits go? There's no CEO, there's no management team. It's just code on the blockchain. Well, it goes to the community. It goes to us. So if you buy shares or the crypto in that protocol and then stake it in the protocol, you get a portion of the fees, the profit. And one of the good examples, this is Fame.io. This launched on Pulse Chain about 3 to 5 months ago. And by you owning the coins, you're getting a portion of the fees from the protocol. So people come in here and do leverage trading. We don't leverage trade. We don't condone that, but other people will. And why they keep those trades open, they have to pay a fee by the hour. We get a portion of all those fees. So it's real world money coming into the protocol every single day that we get to take a share of, just like a stock dividend. And we love that because it's very liquid.
So where is Fame?
Fame's on Pulse Chain.
No, but where do they generate, like when you stake it, does
Yes.
what you put there allow them to leverage what you're putting? I mean, what do you stake in Fame?
You stake the Fame token. It's basically like you own shares in a company, okay? And so by you staking in the protocol is showing the protocol that you own those shares and that you qualify for the rewards, your portion of the fees that the protocol is generating. And that's what it does. And you can pull your stake out whenever you want. There's a 2-week waiting period, an unlocking period, but you could go sell your coins whenever you want, which is what we like that. And so it's just a great way to produce passive income. And this is just one. We have a lot of them. We have a lot of different ways. But the crypto dividends, I feel like Pulse Chain is literally revolutionizing this concept. Like every protocol launching on Pulse Chain is based on this now. I love that. Because this is real money based off a real world concept.
I can't remember, do they have a calculator where you can play with the numbers to see what type of fees you can generate?
Fame? Yeah, and it gives you an APY. It fluctuates. I've seen it fluctuate from 10 to 20% on average. It depending on how much usage the protocol is getting. And, you can anticipate also when the bull run really starts to kick in, you have a lot more retail. People are going to trade, right? And this is a tool. Some more sophisticated traders make money. So it's just a good tool for them. I don't want to trade, but I want to own the company. I want to own the casino. I've always wanted to own a casino. And you can go on Pulse Chain and buy a lot of casinos. It's great. So. I love this one.
Cool. Another way we can make passive income. Anybody done liquidity providing? Okay, we got a bunch of users. Anybody liquidity providing when PulseX first launched? Oh yeah. So we printed money when PulseX first launched with the liquidity providing. Here's a few screenshots of my wallet. This is beautiful. I put $100,000 into some of the pools when PulseX launched. I came back 30 days later and I'd made 20 grand in passive income and the incentive token. It's beautiful, right? It's not rocket science. It's just knowing how to do some of these things. For some of you that I just totally lost you, essentially what we can do is, did you know? Okay, so let's talk about centralized exchanges. Coinbase users, Kraken users, raise your hands. This is a participation exercise. Zero. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So did you know, and I bet many of you do, but did you know that when you sign up for a centralized exchange, you sign their user agreement, essentially you're saying that, hey, they're going to give you an account to make you feel warm and fuzzy. RG3 did a great job of outlining this. They're going to give you an account to make you feel warm and fuzzy like you actually own something there. You're going to slosh money back and forth anytime you're trading. You're going to pay them a fee to the tune of billions of dollars that they make every single year. Good for them. I wish I'd have thought about it. And if business goes bad, you're left with nothing. They take all of it. You're literally just sloshing their money back and forth. You're paying them fees to do it. And if things go bad, you lose everything. It's crazy. It's craziness. So crypto was created like RG3 once again. He did a beautiful job of his presentation. It's not built for bankers and hedge funds and all those guys to build more wealth. It's built for us as citizens of the world to have opportunities, to have more freedom. And so rather than them, the centralized exchanges being ones that put up all the assets and then the users trade back and forth between them, we're the ones on decentralized exchanges where we can put up the assets, we can earn a portion of the fees, and we can make truckloads of passive income as long as you know what you're doing and you're positioned at the right times to be able to manage some of your liquidity positions. There's a right time to do it and a wrong time to do it. I'm probably preaching the choir to a bunch of you guys. But gosh, like a lot of really cool tools. In fact, did you know that you can get paid to exit the market with liquidity providing if you know what you're doing? It's beautiful.
Yep. All right, here's one of my favorite ways of making passive income. I'm a node validator on Pulse Chain, so I love that means of making passive income because you're providing a very valuable service to the blockchain. You hold consensus, you're executing transactions, and you propose new blocks. It's a beautiful way to make passive income. It's not passive for your computer. Your computer does all the work. It's running a server, and you're connected with all the other computers, the other 52,000 around the world, doing this, and you become a piece of the blockchain. That's why I love it. I am Pulse Chain. I am that. And so like it's great node validating. You're providing a beautiful service, and you're paid in the layer one, which is why we love it. Now, it's a little more advanced, a little more complicated, because you do got to know how to run a server. You got to know Linux, ideally. You might have to hire someone to teach you. We teach it in our mastermind, in our community. We love it. And there's other ways of mining, too. And I'll let Dane talk about his experience, because before we were in Pulse Chain and Hex, Dane was in a protocol called Depbox. And he was mining there, and he was killing it.
In fact, you guys might have seen more recently, if you're on Twitter, have you guys seen Depbox in their suit with the SEC? Have you seen that, right? And that's in alignment with what needs to happen for all of crypto. They're having a lot of big wins right now, which bodes beautifully for our stuff that we've got in Pulse Chain. It's awesome. It's awesome. So I was early to Depbox. I was in there in the first month, and it was freaking wild. They're a mining platform. And essentially what I did is I put $5,000 in. There's lots of really cool things to mine. I put $5,000 in, and gosh, it started going so well that I said, hey, I want to make $20,000 a month. So I just did the numbers backwards. I needed to buy $100,000 total of these miners. So I did that, and that was before appreciation. So then I got some appreciation in addition, and at one point I was making $50,000 a month. It's pretty freaking wild. You shut your seven-figure a year real estate business down if you can make $50K a month without tenants, toilets, or trash. This isn't rocket science, right? You just follow the breadcrumbs. So lots of really cool opportunities if you just know how to position yourself, and make no mistake about it. I think we're all here in this room because Pulse Chain is the opportunity right now. Hex is the opportunity, PulseX is the opportunity. All of that stuff's still incredibly undervalued. That is where the opportunity is at right now. I wouldn't go buy more Depbox right now if I'm you.
No. But it's a great example. And once again, yeah, we love making passive income. I was making roughly around $300 net per door on my rental portfolio when it comes to after tenant turnover, maintenance of the property, property management, everything else that goes involved with the headache of running a big, massive rental portfolio. Now, once again, we're not done with real estate, and let me explain a little bit more about this. So in our community, we have 140 members in there. They're all very high-level real estate entrepreneurs. We have some apartment syndicators in there. I'll give you one example. These guys own 8,000, 10,000, 15,000 doors in apartments. They raise millions of dollars that pays, anywhere from 15 to a 30% IRR. In crypto terms, that's APY, okay? So you can just kind of understand what that is. And you can just be the money in the deals. It's called syndications. And so like you go in, park money with their deals, you get the price appreciation, sometimes depending on the offering. Sometimes depreciation, so the tax incentives, because guys, if you go and make a bunch of money in this bull run, what is your plan after for taxes? Uncle Sam's gonna come knocking on your door. He's going to. He's gonna come knocking on your door, and he doesn't like crypto. There is no breaks in crypto for taxes. Real estate there is. I moved to Puerto Rico, so I avoided it with Act 60, but I'm still gonna be going into real estate because I like it as a wealth preservation tool. And so you need to start thinking some of these things through now and positioning yourself now with the right strategies to offset some of these capital gains that you're gonna be experiencing here in the next year to year and a half. And real estate's a great way to do that. It's a great way to go, place some money, have your money work for you, still beat inflation, make some passive income, and get a nice break on taxes. Uncle Sam loves giving break on taxes when it comes to real estate and business ownership, even oil and gas. And funny, oil and gas even offers bigger tax breaks than real estate does. It's really remarkable once you get down the rabbit hole, and you can make some pretty good passive income with that stuff too. I just never want to be the one that finds the deals ever again. I did that for 10 years. I only want to be money in deals. That's it. I want to be the guy who parks the money and makes the IRR and gets the tax benefits or whatever it's needed. That's all I want to be now. And cryptocurrency is going to give me the leg up to do that. I get to create wealth through crypto and preserve wealth through real estate now. We're on a mission to marry these two asset classes together. So.
It's done wonders for your health. I mean, that you used to look like that, right?
All landlords look like that.
Yeah, you ever met a landlord?
That's just.
In fact, during the holidays, we sat down and we were playing the board game Monopoly with some of my family. And one of my sisters-in-law said, "Man, I have all these houses, but I have no money in the bank." And I said, "Well, welcome to being a real estate investor."
That means you're the last guy to get paid.
Always.
I just had to lock my guy out this morning.
Always. Oh yeah, you know all about it. Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna like crypto a lot more.
Yep. Yep. So Corey and I both have lost 6 figures in crypto when we first got started because we didn't know what we were doing. These games are all the same. If you don't know what you're doing when you first get in, you either spend the time to learn or you spend the money to learn, or both, often both, right? So what we found is that, gosh, I would have loved nothing more than to have had the right people to be able to help us when we first got in and to help us continue to develop some of the more advanced strategies so we could figure out how to play the game correctly. I can't tell you how many stories we've heard of not only people, you guys have heard them, people losing money, but people being the bag holders and taking no profits at any time. The goal here isn't to own a bunch of crypto and never do anything with it, right? The goal is to have freedom, like we all talked about before. So what we've done is we build a community. Like Corey said, we're about 140 people right now, where we've got people in there doing billion-dollar deals today. Right now, literally right now. We've got business roll-ups. These guys have they call it their e-com folio, where they're buying a bunch of e-commerce businesses. If you didn't know this already, you can buy a bunch of businesses. You bring them all together under one umbrella. Once you get over $1 million EBITDA, that's essentially like net profit. You can go and flip those companies for a 10x. That's crypto gains in the real world. That's pretty crazy. And you can do that in the bear market. So that's the plan. $1 billion deals in real estate as well. One of our big guys, he just sold off 5,000 units of his bad properties, 5,000 doors, $60 million profit, and he's taking a lot of that and repositioning it in crypto. Yep.
He's a Hexican now.
Mm-hmm. And we have deals like this all the time going on. Now, the time right now is not to do those. Those guys are already doing those. We're just helping them get some exposure into crypto. But make no mistake about it, just like Corey said, we don't want to find those deals. We just want to plug in with the right people. We want to park our money there. We want to get all the tax incentives. So when the IRS comes to bend you over a barrel, you have some options, and you have and you have to have. I'm telling you, you need to figure out those plans now, because what happens if you're taking a lot of profits at the end of this year and you only have a month or two to be able to figure out what to do with that money before the clock rolls over? If you haven't cut a 6-figure check to the IRS before, I can tell you it's incredibly painful. You do not want that experience. So make sure that you have a plan in place, and if we can be a part of that plan, we'd love to do it.
Absolutely. So this is a snapshot of we love showing our real estate guys and make it more real, but this is what I made last quarter in passive income. From mining, from LPing, and from staking with crypto dividends. I added it all up, made about $100,000, and that's just the passive income side of things. So you real estate guys who are thinking about, crypto right now is the opportunity. You saw not only as far as the market cycles, this is the opportunity, but also you can get the passive income that you want to achieve for freedom, true freedom, because that's what this is about, guys. Freedom is, for me, is I can spend my time with whom I want, however I want, when I want. That's why I do all this. That's why I became an entrepreneur. That's why I got into real estate, and that's why I'm in crypto. And this really shows the power of the passive income. Now, I'm not taking profits at this moment. This is still in my portfolio, but it's nice to just know it's there because it's liquid. I do have a lot of hex stakes too, but that's that part of the portfolio. This was strictly on my liquid passive income. So please understand the power of this. If you're in real estate and you're thinking about this, and then we can take this and go back into real estate. Think about how much more real estate you can buy if you harness the power of cryptocurrency right now. How much more real estate can you go out and acquisition in 2025 when you've 10x'd your net worth? Yes.
What kind of capital?
I'm in over 7 figures in Pulse Chain, just to let you know. Yeah, I've been heavy, man.
Well,
Yeah.
because I was just wondering to produce that kind of.
It's a lot. Yeah, but I mean, on average, so let's break some numbers down. So like liquidity providing, you can earn anywhere from 30% up to like 120%. And of course, the more speculative assets and pools, you can into the higher end. Like one of my favorite pools is RH Maxi, and it's only earning about 15%. But then you also have places like liquid loans where you can park stable coins and earn 95%. So even if you're earning like 70% APY on a $10,000 investment, that still works to be out about $800 a month without toilets, tennis, or trash.
I was surprised how much just by staking, just by putting the stable coins in the stability pool. I was like,
Yeah, it's amazing. And I use it, I park my capital there while I'm DCAing. So then I'm using the loan token to buy the assets that I want. And then every week I go out and pull what I need and buy the assets I want. And that's a great way. Think of it as like my bank, right? I can go in there and earn my real interest, because what bank's ever going to pay you 95% APY? It's absolutely astounding. And so that's how I use it, as my bank. And then I'm DCAing out of there and topping it back up, stuff like that. It's great. And we got the new Earn protocol they'll be launching in a couple weeks. That's going to rinse and repeat the same thing all over again for Pulse X. It's amazing. It's amazing. So this opportunity, man, is just there. It's screaming you in the face. Go 10x your net worth, and then go into real estate and preserve that net worth for legacy wealth for you, your family, your grandkids. That's the mission. That's the goal. And then buy your time back. Okay. So we do have what's called the accelerator. Most of you guys in here are already in crypto, so this is not for you guys. This is for you guys that want to learn a little bit more, a little more hand-holding, how we produce this passive income, how we're using Pulse Chain, how we're doing DeFi, how to get your security in order. And we do a 4-week live training. And this is mainly for our real estate guys. So if you guys came in, you'd meet a lot of real estate individuals, because we go to these real estate events and we present on stage and we bring them into what's called the accelerator. And this is the very first stepping stone into our community. And basically, you gotta get a course, which is great, but most people don't watch the course. It's just how it works. Most people want hand-holding, and that's what we do. We're there with you every step of the way for 4 weeks, get you on board. We have a private Telegram group where you can ask all your questions. You know, how to set up in your hardware wallet. How's this hidden passphrase thing work? And we're in there every single day answering these questions, giving them homework. We're going to give you homework for the next accelerator meeting, and we do weekly meetings on Zoom calls to get you up and going, to get you off to the races, so that way you can be successful in crypto. I wish I had something like this. When I got into crypto, I wouldn't have lost over 6 figures right out of the gate like I did. If I had something like this to give me structure and something put in place, and then if you're interested in the community, this will give you a leg up coming into the community, because we don't want to bring absolute beginners into the community and asking all the newbie questions. We want to give them, you know, an elevated lift up and then bring them into community. And so it's been a great way. We're doing about 10 to 20 people every single month. And we're having a lot of success with it. And then most of all, them come into our community afterwards. It's been absolutely awesome. See us after this if you're interested. I'm not going to come up here and shill prices here on RG3's event. But if you are interested in really learning and onboarding into this beautiful DeFi space, and then actually learning how maybe in the future we can use that real estate as a wealth preservation tool, see us afterwards. Come talk to us. We'll be more than happy to educate you about this. Or you can also talk to us about crypto too. We love talking crypto. Like, this is my favorite thing. I seriously eat, sleep, and breathe this every single day now. It's my life passion. I finally found my passion in life. When I was doing real estate, it was not my life passion. It made me rich, but it did not make me happy. This makes me happy and rich. Yep. So that's it. We good? All right, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And we appreciate RG3 again, guys. Wild SJ and Black Hats the Kid, thank you so much. You guys are absolutely a blessing in this community. You guys do so much. Thank you.
What's the name of y'all's company?
DeFi Crypto Alliance, DCA.
You guys are staying up here with us, right?
Sure, why not? We can.
About a 15-minute AMA for the three of you.
Oh, let's do it.
We're
I
gonna do
like it. Let's
some
do it.
questions, answers. If not, we're gonna ask you questions.
Yes.
You mentioned liquid loans. I was wondering, for tax purposes, if you take a loan out, you don't have to pay tax on the
Okay.
money. And that's what I've heard, so.
Careful with that.
Yeah.
To an account, a CPA, because if that loan gets liquidated,
Right.
it could become a taxable event depending on your jurisdiction. Like, once again, you need to talk to a CPA that's, you know, in your jurisdiction. I don't know if you're from Texas or where you're from, but talk to somebody who would know. Because if that loan it gets liquidated, it's acted as a sale. It's a taxable event.
Or redeemed.
Or redeemed.
More likely it gets redeemed than it would, yeah.
That's why I keep my debt in front over 25 million on my vault. I don't get redeemed on. I got redeemed when I had around like 10 million in vault in front. You get redeemed on. You get redeemed when the price goes up.
Right.
That's the risk. This price goes up, and they didn't teach you that when it first launched either. I was opening vaults up, and they're like, "What the heck?" You wake up the next morning, "What the heck happened?" And you go back and buy your Pulse back, and Pulse ran up without you, and you're like buying less Pulse back. You're like, "Oh man, all right."
And it depends on where you end up on the list too.
It is, yeah. So now I keep a lot of debt in front of me. I keep my collateral ratio very high, so that I don't get redeemed on and I don't get liquidated.
And in that case, then, is that a positive tax way to?
So taking money of any loans usually is not a taxable event. It's either liquidation or redemption, but you need to talk to a CPA and once again an accountant about that. Like, if I go take a HELOC on my house, it's not a taxable event. But if I lose the house and I'm trying to keep, you know, there's some gray areas there. But once again, we're not CPAs, right? So.
And there's crypto.
And it's crypto, which, yeah.
But isn't that some of the stuff that you guys deal with your Mountain Crypto?
MCA, yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
So just for clarification, for those that don't know, what's the vault you speak of?
So a vault is just where you're taking a loan against your Pulse. That's all it really is. You're gonna put it up as collateral. I love it because, like, from the real estate space, they say, what's the quickest way to become a millionaire is to borrow $1 million and let someone else pay it off. Well, in liquid loans, I can go in there and borrow money. I can put it in the stability pool, put it to work for me, and I can pay the loan off from the stability pool. So it's the exact same methodology, except for it's in crypto. And so that's why I like it, but you gotta be very careful. Once again, you have to know how to manage these things. They're high risk. This is for more an advanced user because there is risk of liquidations and the redemptions. And there's nothing worse than you probably waking up in the morning, your vault being liquidated. That's just where all your Pulse is stored at. That would be a really bad feeling. I mean, there's smarter strategies to actually sell through that means, like of liquidating your vault. But that's a whole nother topic, and that's something that you can do in the bull run. But right now, that's not something you want. You don't want your vault being liquidated. You don't want to be redeemed against because you have to be there. Now, when Tetra launches, that will help with the redemptions because Tetra can be utilized to go buy your pulse back immediately afterwards. It gives full automation in DeFi. And I know we didn't talk about that's a whole other topic, but yeah.
What collateral ratio?
I'm over 500% collateral ratio. I think I'm probably like 520, 550. Probably because price has been going up too the last week. It's probably more like around 550 in that now. Yeah, I'm like on page, if you go to the liquidation page, I'm on like page 7. Like, I'm like, all right, and I have 25 million debt in front. Like, I feel pretty comfortable there, but I'm still checking it every day because it's still, you're managing a debt position, a leverage position. You could get wrecked. So you gotta be very careful and mindful how to use these tools because they can wreck you.
No, I've played on the test.
Which is why Richard Hart says never. What is it? Liquors, leverage, and ladies always get you wrecked. It's so true. It's so true. That's why I'm married now. And that's why I'm sober.
Good for you.
Sober and married. That's
Any other questions?
It could be real estate related. If you guys want to talk a little about real estate, yes.
So the real estate, you're talking about it's a mastermind group, real estate. Like,
We do.
So you guys are working deals, people are bringing deals to the table, those kind of things, and y'all are.
We have a back chat. Yeah, so on our Telegram, we have like the crypto, real estate, and even a mindset chat inside of our Telegram. And yeah, they're in there doing deals currently right now, even though me and Dana aren't participating in the deals yet. But we have our real estate investors in there swapping deals around, trading deals. Yeah, it's already happening. And it will come to fruition even more when the bull run starts or when we're taking profits in the bull run, sorry. And that's when we're really gonna see it. I mean, we've already got, like Corey Peterson, the guy owns, Tim Bratz, 8,000 doors. We're a part of other masterminds, real estate masterminds, and we bring these people into our crypto community. And these guys have a lot of deals, which is really cool. Because like I said, I never want to be the guy to find a deal again. It sucks. I hate being in lawsuits. I hate having 15 employees. I hate hiring and firing. I hate sleepless nights. And my business owning me, working 18 hours a day. You entrepreneurs know exactly what I'm talking about. It sucks. So I just want to use crypto to create wealth and then use real estate to preserve the wealth by being the money in deals. That's it.
Are they, as far as funding deals, are they some of these guys accepting crypto, or do they have to convert it first?
At this point, he's be converted first. We're going to be working on something maybe like where it could be like, we were talking about last night, like one of the 404 technology where you can fractionalize an NFT and that could be your share in a real estate deal or in a syndication. And where we're bouncing some ideas around, of course, it'll be launched on Pulse Chain, which would be freaking awesome. And it'll be tied to a real world asset. The problem is anytime you tie in real world assets to the blockchain, it usually doesn't work out very well. And so we just got to kind of really give this some thought, have some good devs, but we would love to really bring the worlds together in that regard, where we could sell that on like PulseX, the Raise, for a syndication. And then the person can, once you get a full NFT, that's your position in the portfolio. And if you wanted to fractionalize it off, you could. These are ideas we're coming up right now. And this is stuff that we have time because we're not going to be doing the bulk of this until the top of the bull, which will be 2025. Is when we're going to be doing most of our swapping back into real estate. So we have a little time to figure this piece of the puzzle out.
And all these things have been talked about for, the last 5-10 years. And they just haven't been able to come to fruition because the blockchains weren't supporting it. There was too much fees. The networks were gummed up. So a lot of these technologies people have been talking about, but they haven't actually brought them to fruition because they didn't have blockchain to operate. And now the Pulse Chain's here, it's very easy to do so.
That's
very
perfect. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, kind of on that same note, one of the things that I've heard about for a long time, it kind of was getting where title companies are no longer going to be needed in the future, where everything is tracked on the blockchain, where you have there is no all this research needed to be done for title companies. It's literally all right there, visible, where everybody can see it. Do you know exactly who owns it?
It's a beautiful idea in theory,
yes.
Right? Richard has talked about it on some of his past when he was live streaming, where there's things that can be beautifully decentralized where they don't need human interaction. Unfortunately, something like Tidal, you run into the same issues. You have a title person that's still going to have to record the information on the blockchain. You have a crooked attorney that cheated with the wrong person, and now they're recording incorrect things. Like whether that's recorded on the blockchain or in public record, you still have the same issue.
It's the human interaction.
It's almost too big of a mess to unravel. You'd have to start from scratch and try and build a whole new system.
It's going to happen one day. It's a matter of time before blockchain's fully integrated into our civilization, period. It's wild to think that everything's gone digital except for money. Money's going to go digital, and the way we live our lives is going to be going digital too, as far as like title, even real estate being sold on the MLS. All that's going to be done via the blockchain. It's just going to be a way of automating it and making it a way where there's no human interaction. That's the hard part right now that people are struggling with. Now, doing a simple raise for like a syndication, that could be easily done on the blockchain and done with a cryptocurrency or NFT. But something like automating title across all the real estate across the world, I love the idea. But we're a ways off still. It's going to happen, it's just we're a ways off. Because Dane's right. And Richard's right. Richard talks about it all the time. You have that human interaction in there, and it screws it up. Because what do humans do? You got to be trusted, and a lot of us can't be trusted. That's the problem.
There's a company here in Texas is focused their energy on building a title plant, but in doing it in areas outside the popular areas where the big guys are going, like in Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and the less populated areas. And they get a lot of business.
Yeah. We have a friend, he lives out in Tennessee, he owns a title company nationwide. And we've had this conversation with him, David Oates. We've had this conversation with him a few times. He can't wrap his head around it yet either. I mean, he's an older gentleman. It's going to take some of the newer generation and some new innovation on top of the blockchain to really get this to work properly. And I'm looking forward to it. And if it doesn't happen in my lifetime, great. My 2.5-year-old, the world's going to be a different world. It's going to be a different place when she's my age. So I want to make sure I empower her with the technology we do got, with the blockchain we do got. She understands this stuff. So when she's my age and this stuff is like all on the blockchain title, and then she'll get it. She'll get it, and that's where wealth will be made, is being keeping up with the technology.
The bigger fight is preserving DeFi right now. That's really the biggest fight.
Richard's gonna do it, bro.
We could talk about all these things
I
that
got
it would
no
be
doubt.
wonderful, but if we don't fight for DeFi, we won't get these things. And the centralized exchanges will take over. They'll either destroy crypto so that we don't mess up their system that they have going now, or they'll adopt it and they'll bring in the CBDCs and all this other stuff, and they'll own the centralized side of crypto. And they'll do what they were doing about a year ago. So I went to Washington, D.C. a year and a half ago and was talking to lobby houses and finding out who they were supporting, what they were doing, how we can help and get involved, the Hexagon community. And they looked at me like I was crazy. And they said, no, we're not supporting DeFi. This is about centralized exchanges. We need to get rules for centralized exchanges. We need to get certification for centralized exchanges from the government so that they can, back up the centralized. And I was like, what are you talking about? They're the problem.
That's the problem.
And come to find out, 2 months, 3 months after I left there, the whole FTX thing happened. So the lobby shops were being paid by FTX and everything else to get rid of DeFi and bring CeFi to the space. So that's why there's so much misinformation going through our government. Not only the fact that they're all have their heads buried up their own, what. They don't understand the crypto space. Like literally, I was talking to one of the treasurers that we helped get reelected in Nevada, and he said he sat in front of Congress. I'm sorry, it was the Senate, and he was talking to them. They were asking him about crypto. It was in a private meeting, and one of the senators got up and asked him this question: if I had a bag this big, how many Bitcoins could I fit in it? And it was a real question. And
Like a physical bag is what he was asking.
yeah, she said, if I had a bag this big, how many of those Bitcoins could I fit in it?
All of them's there.
And all of them. And all future Bitcoins in the next 120 years. So that's how disconnected they are. So to have an entity like FTX pouring money into that, and of course, more than likely misinforming them of what crypto should be. Centralized exchanges had their hands in the cookie jar, and they were steering our government the way that they wanted it to be steered. And that's not where we're at right now. We have to advocate for DeFi. We have to go out and lobby for DeFi to be the crypto for the people, not this CeFi stuff. Because BlackRock's in, guys.
Yeah.
They're in.
Fidelity.
You know, everybody's cheering it on. Yay, big bull market coming, all this money coming in. I'm going to get richer and rich. And a lot of people in here are going to get rich from this. But they're taking control of crypto. And so we got to be careful with how much applause we give this whole bull run here. So
Maybe a little uneducated question, but like, why do we need to lobby for DeFi when the whole purpose of DeFi is
that's a great question. And here's the answer. We can hate government all we want. There is not going to be a zombie apocalypse. I know I'm in Texas, so I'll be careful with exactly what I say. There is going to be government. We need government in order to run our country, period, end of story. It's not going away. We're not going to have anarchy. You're never going to have peace with everybody if there's no rules, no laws, no streets being built, these kinds of things. There's better ways to do them, of course. We can talk about that stuff all day long. But the bottom line is there's a government, and it ain't going away. And I was a Marine. You guys ain't fighting the Marine Corps with all your guns in your house. Ain't happening. Tanks are coming down your street. That changes everything you got, and you're safe. So we have to fight fire with fire. Our government is run by money. The rule, it's called Citizens United, makes it to where money is speech. That means that your vote is worth less than the guy that's got $1 billion. All of our votes are worth less than the guy that has $1 billion. They're the ones buying the votes. They're the ones paying our senators, our congressmen, and they're writing the laws. Senators and congressmen don't like the laws. They go and suck up to the lobby firms. The lobby firms pay them to stay in business. If they don't sign the laws that they want put in place, which is putting money into 1%'s pocket, they say, well, we're gonna go ahead and get you out of there, and we'll put our guy in there. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or whatever, we got another one over here that will sign that law for us. Bye, and they primary them and they're out. That's how our government works. We think that we get to go vote for our people and we don't. This is about getting into the government and fighting fire with fire. We need to put our money to use because there's a lot of people in crypto that have a lot of money. And if we're going to go up against people like BlackRock, we better be damn good and well ready to go fight them. And we need lobby shops to do that because Citizens United is not going away. It takes a constitutional amendment to get rid of it. And that would give the power back to the people if we did. But that means every state has to ratify it in order for it to be taken out of existence. Right. And we can't get our states to agree on anything altogether. So what do we do for now? This year is a very important year because BlackRock's coming in. That means the money's coming into crypto. So they're either going to destroy it or they're going to take it for themselves. So we have to fight it. And there's more of us than there are of them. So we got to get the word out. People have to start getting involved. We need more people to start, instead of eating shit and barking at the moon and yelling at the wall and saying, I don't like the government. Well, you can not like them all you want. They're going to create the rules. And if they block you like Texas blocked you from doing your transactions, right? You didn't have no say-so in it. They're going to start doing stuff like that. And then we can yell and scream all we want, but we won't have it.
It does nothing.
It does nothing. So we have to do something. And that is, well, we got to go on the battlefield with the same tools, you know, and ammunition and everything else that they've got. And that means we got to go in and get dirty with the lobbyists.
And we're in this for freedom, self-sovereignty, permissionless money. You know, this is the last place that we're going to have financial freedom at. And you always have to fight for freedom. And that's what Richard Hart's doing right now. He's fighting for our freedom.
He's fighting. And this is how Richard talks. He knows reality is reality. You know, we can't sit here and yell and scream we hate it, and it's killing us, you know.
If we just close our eyes and stood up
La, 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 la.
Lead too, right? There's another option. You just
Yeah,
lead
so
if you
we-
wanted to.
We have to get involved and help the people that are trying to help, you know, and hopefully we're going to create our own lobby firm, and hopefully we're going to get, you know, a DeFi crypto lobby firm together and put a crypto together that does it, you know, like Texan Token is doing their thing.
That's all the Texan guys here.
Yeah.
I'm a little Texan, by the way. I support you guys. So I went into that. So.
Have y'all, any of y'all had to deal with Gemini?
I don't know if you saw the movie. Did anybody see The Highest of Stakes?
Yeah.
I had a little word for Gemini in there. They sent me a letter.
Well, here's why I'm asking. 2 years ago, they locked me out of my stuff, and nobody will respond to me. I can't get anybody to respond to me. There's no phone number, you know, and I don't know what to do.
And that's the problem. Coinbase, all of them, they're the same way. You know, they're supposed to be there to protect you.
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of like a FDIC insurance thing where, oh, we won't let you lose your crypto, you know. But now they're shutting things down. For instance, I got this letter back when we were filming the movie, and the letter said, hey, this is Gemini. We've got some information for you. That we're no longer supporting anybody who does any business with Hexcoin because it's a scam. That was the letter. Literally telling me that the coins that I owned, that I had purchased on a decentralized exchange, and then moved through their exchange just to go through my bank and back into my wallet. Is that same?
Presentation. You're good. We still have like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. So that was my dealings with Gemini, and I just won't do business with them anymore.
Well, I mean, it's only $1,000, but it's $1,000, and I can't.
Yeah.
get it. I don't know what to do.
I've been the least resistance on the centralized exchanges with Kraken. That's been my experience. Even Coinbase has gotten really bad with a lot of our onboards, especially when it's bigger money, they'll block it going out into DeFi world.
Yeah. And I like TrueUSD.
Yeah, they've been harder. They've been having some issues.
Well, they had one of their redemption houses or whatever go belly up.
Yeah.
And I literally sent a transaction through right when that happened. And I think it was my transaction that they said, okay, well, we'll turn it off now. And they turned it off, and my transaction got stuck in there for weeks. Yeah, actually, it took me a couple months to get it back. And but I did get it back eventually. Lots of emails, and literally had to go to the treasurer of a certain state that I helped because he was part of that whole investigation, and he went to bat for me, and they sent me my money back. But TrueUSD, even though they are having some problems, the only reason I like TrueUSD is because when they sent it to my bank, it wasn't coming from a crypto exchange. It was coming from an escrow house. So it looked like I sold a business or I had a real estate deal. So I like that because my bank was flagging me. And
Zeros Coast has the
for
same
crypto.
model.
Yeah.
The Zeros Coast has the same model. They built their model around.
Oh, so they have a escrow model too?
I'm not 100% about that, but they're operating under the same licensings, and that's why they don't operate in Texas.
I saw that,
Or
but-
in New York. It's the same like TUSD. They did all the same structuring that TUSD was doing.
Oh.
And so I'm not sure if you send it to your bank, but it looks like it's coming from an LLC. Or
I'm gonna look into that.
But yeah, look into that because that's why we love Zero X Coast, because they're not really even an exchange. They're just a money transmitter.
Yeah.
You wire money in there, and then they turn your money into stable coins on Pulse Chain, directly on Pulse Chain, which we love. We avoid the bridge.
Yes.
We avoid Ethereum. We avoid Coinbase. We avoid, their purpose is to get your money into DeFi, where Coinbase's purpose is to keep your money out of DeFi. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
And so that's why we love Zero X Coast, and we love TUSD, because TUSD, that was their purpose. Except for now, where they're having all the issues. I was supposed to have a meeting with their manager like months ago.
Because there's another thing that they could do is, say Coinbase is purchased by one of the big money houses, right? Now they can say, well, we're not going to let you send to any of those DeFi wallets. We're not going to let you send them to any of that. Just have to stay here and do your business off of Coinbase. And they can do all these different type of tricks to stop us from using DeFi. And that's where we have to fight. We have to fight. We have to make tools. Richard's done a really good job of decentralizing his whole platform and giving us the tools and the things that we need to go build on. He really smart with what he did. With coming out with Pulse Chain right now is so important. It gives us one more step closer to being able to fight them.
It's the most decentralized blockchain that is out, period. 52,000 node validators around the world. No centralized ownership of any of those node values. You can't say that about Ethereum.
Right.
You can't. I mean, we are the most decentralized blockchain. We love that. Good luck, 52 or 51 of that 51% attacking at us.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Never happen.
They gotta happen, right? So I mean, build all day long on this. This is a beautiful technology.
Would you ever see them perhaps like some of the three-letter organizations coming after those who have validators in the U.S.? I mean, since we have this developing conflict between SEX and DEX.
It's a possibility. I don't know how they would be able to, well, they can pinpoint because we can see where everything is, but through the MAC addresses and whatnot, I would.
And I mean, I think a really good example of DeFi, and this gives me a ton of hope, is anybody use Napster when it first came out? I was in
That's what I visualize.
Yeah, I was in junior high, right? And you need to make sure the phone stays hung up so you could actually download the content. Well, is it more available today to download any content you ever wanted in your life, or is it less so? It's more so, right? I can download anything I ever wanted today for free if I know where to look. And I think DeFi is the same, where it's a beautiful virus that we all should be infected with.
Yes.
And so even if they did want to do, there's steps that one could take in order to protect yourself. I'm not going to stand up here and advocate for those steps right now, but there's steps one could take. Yes.
Have you all looked at Old Glory Bank?
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, Glory, I've never heard of it.
So, well, just file it away and check it out. I mean, it's a new bank built by people like us to try to protect people from all these crazy, insane things.
It's here in the U.S.?
Yes. John Rich is one of the big members that used to be with country guy, John Rich from Big and Rich.
Okay.
There's some other people involved. I don't remember who all. But anyway, it's at least worth looking into. I just was curious if you had any experience.
And they're crypto friendly?
They are, I think they're going to be decentralized friendly. They are the people friendly.
Interesting.
Yes.
Glory?
Old Glory.
Old Glory.
I gotta look into that. Yeah, 'cause I'm literally flying down to Panama in 2 months to meet up with Randy Hilarski. He's another Hatzikin. To go set up a Panamanian bank account because I just don't even want to deal with the banks here.
Yeah.
And when I go to off ramp in 2025, you're not gonna stop me. Like, so I'm gonna set up other measures. That's unfortunately outside of the U.S.
There was another
So
bank that
it's-
they tried, but they're shutting down. Who was that? Remember? Yeah, I remember that. But
Yeah,
anyway,
but I would love to look
I
into
think
that.
it's
I gotta
worth
look into
looking
that.
Yeah, and my avocation is for this country to change and get better.
That would be great.
I don't want to turn my back on it. I was a Marine. I stood there on the wall. I believe in this country. I'm half native, so I believe in this place. So I want to make it right. I want to work on doing it here. I could run off to Portugal or Puerto Rico or whatever and go take my money and whatever. I don't want to do that. I want to make it better because there are people here that need it to be better. And there's too many of us. It's the few that have screwed this place up. Not all of us. I sit down in rooms with people, with working people, and we all think the same. We all feel the same. We all have the same wants and desires. There's only 10% of the bullshit that we disagree on. 90% of the stuff we all agree upon. And the 10% of the shit don't matter.
Yeah.
So I'm for the people, and I want this place to get better. So I don't want to turn my back on it and then yell and scream and do nothing. It's like, let's get our shit together. Let's go and fight the battles that need to be fought, and let's try and fix things for ourselves, because if we don't, we're going to have to do what they want us to do. And it's not going to get any better. They're killing our money, they've killed our systems, and we've got to do something about it.
So when you say get involved, we just need to be playing the game. We need to be involved in the communities. We need to be in these little circles.
Yeah, social media, node validating on.
You're the pirate. I got you on X. What are y'all's X?
Corey Geary. This is my name. I don't have a stage name.
Yeah, I didn't really find you.
Corey Geary, Geary. We also have a YouTube channel, guys. If you guys would like to follow us, we would love it. We stream Monday through Friday, talking about everything that's Paul's Train and real estate. We talk about real estate stuff on there too.
Great show.
We even have real estate guys come on the show.
Basically, just stay involved.
Stay involved.
Stay involved
Community.
and do what you can do. Start talking to people that have other skills
I follow
and
you?
bringing them into the mix
Come on,
and
man.
connecting
Follow
people
me
with
back.
one another.
But it said follow back. I'm like, what?
Follow back.
I'm not used to
And,
that.
and I think it goes without saying, onboarding right now is so important. I don't know if you guys have ever, if anyone's onboarding near the top of the last bull run, but nobody wants come in and play the game after you get burned.
I did it on film.
I was kind of like the guy in here.
But, you know what I mean? Like the goal of if you go and get married, right? The goal isn't to get married once and be done. The goal is to stay married.
Yes.
If you're going to be in business, it's to get profitable and stay profitable. If you go and get fit, it's to get fit and stay fit for the rest of your life. The goal in crypto is to be able to get in the game and continue to play the game. And the best way to be able to help people do that, in my opinion, is to onboard them now when they can actually get some of the green candles and get a taste for what that feels like. And that's probably why some of us have been in here, is because you've gotten a little taste and you're like, oh gosh, I'd like more of that, please, sir. You know, give me more of that. And so I think onboarding right now is really critical because that's how you can get people to stick in the community. That's why there's so many people in the Hexagon community because they got some of that ride last time and they're here to stay because.
And we're about to get it again.
And your phone's gonna blow up at the top. When Hex hits $1, everybody will be calling you. And you'll be like, why didn't you get in earlier? Why didn't you get me in sooner? Why didn't you shake me? That's what my friends are. Why didn't you just shake me? I said, I told you. I told you when it was under a penny. I told you when it was a penny. And you just hemmed and hawed. You didn't listen to me. And then at 56 cents, you guys call me.
We're going through it now. When we were last year, we were going to all those real estate events. We were onboarding real estate investors, and it was hard. We were beating the drum, and they'd pull out Coinbase, and they'd look on there, and they'd look at Hex, and be like, "This is what you're buying?" I'm like, yeah, you don't understand the opportunity.
You're watching it going down,
and it was like we were beating the drum hard. Now when we go speak at a real estate event, they flock to us in droves because now they're seeing the green candles in Bitcoin, they're seeing the green candles in Ethereum, and all these other cryptos. And even Pulse Chain is easier because now they pull their phone out and they look up Pulse Chain or Hex and they see green. And so immediately it's easier for us to have a conversation with them. So this is the time. Don't wait until we do a 100x, right? Or even a 20x or even a 10x. Talk to these people now. Get them in. Talk to your family members. Talk to your loved ones. Talk to your friends. You know, get them involved now. It's very important. Change the trajectory of their lives and not only their lives, but their families' lives.
Yep.
Starting to see the chatter about possibly a Pulse Chain ETF. Do y'all ever?
I mean, Richard made a tweet the other day talking about, you know, the Bitcoin ETF, and when they start noticing there's gains everywhere, who knows? What if the Ethereum is like Ethereum and EVM chains ETF? I don't know. That could be a possibility, but I like to think about stuff like that. Who knows, right?
Yeah, the possibilities are endless now.
The doors being open.
The doors are open.
The doors is open, but if you have an Ethereum ETF and Bitcoin ETF, all that liquidity has been flowing over into all these other layer ones anyways. You don't need a Pulse Chain ETF.
Yeah.
I mean, do we want that really?
Because think about it. The Bitcoin that's being bought up by the money houses right now is coming from big old wallets. Those big old wallets, some of them are cashing out, but some of them are going, they're smarter. They know where the X's are. The X's are in the altcoins. The X's are in the solid L1s that are coming out. They're going to be moving their value over to those as soon as they see their bottom end, that's why we're starting to see everything starting to pump together. It's not just because everybody's buying Bitcoin that the value of everything's going up. The value is going up because people are moving their money around. Money is flowing through the system now, and that's what we're seeing. And it's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger.
That part of the cycle.
Because don't forget, the reason it cycles like, and we were showing you the cycle, it's almost like clockwork every 4 years.
That's why I love crypto.
The reason it's moving like this is because they come in, they buy a bunch of it, they create FOMO, all of your friends call you and get in at the top, and then they go, okay, time to pull the rug. We got our 15, 20% at the top. They'll pull the rug, they'll watch it bottom back out, they'll scoop up a 15 or 20% at the bottom, and meanwhile, all of our friends and family and everybody who got scared and ran out are the ones that are getting hurt, and they're making all the money. That's how it works every single time. It's no different every 4 years. It's some new thing is coming out every 4 years now to make everything pump up.
Well, learn to play their game.
And that's what you have to do.
Learn to play their game.
A real estate question.
Yeah.
I'm not in real estate, I'm in crypto, but I think there's a big bubble coming with commercial real estate.
Sure.
Because
Oh, yeah.
of everything that's talking about.
Yep,
buildings
notes are
being
being new
empty.
right now. Yeah.
Is that something you guys will want to go back into
So,
after you?
it's funny you bring that up because I have a bet with some OG Hexagons out in Puerto Rico, and it's great. I think when crypto's peaking in 2025, we're going to be at a real estate bottom. Because right now, real estate's a lagging indicator for the economy. It's the last to react to everything. It moves like a slug. where crypto's so fast, and even stock market, and the real estate's always the last thing to get affected when stuff's rolling downhill. So like, I really feel like we have not been affected by this recession that we started to have. Real estate hasn't seen it yet, but although, and I'm from Phoenix, even though I live in Puerto Rico, I'm from Phoenix. Open Door, the average rental or the average property on MLS that they're listing is $100,000 upside down right now. From where they accumulated that, back in 2023, 22. I was selling to a lot of deals to Open Door and OfferPad and all those guys, the hedge funds.
They were our exit liquidity.
They were our exit liquidity, and now they're floating the bill. But how long can they float the bill for before it really wrecks the market? Before it takes a long time. So I think literally where we're at now, this stage, both in real estate and crypto, this could be the once in a lifetime opportunity where you really can use crypto as that wealth creation tool and use real estate as a wealth preservation tool. Imagine getting 100x on your crypto portfolio and rotating into the absolute bottom in real estate. It's a life-changing legacy wealth if what would happen. Completely change the trajectory of you and your family's lives for generations. So it's really a really crazy spot that we're in right now in this time of history with real estate and crypto. And some people think I'm crazy, but yeah, I've made some bets out there. I think that's what's going to happen. That's my take. I see it happening. I've been in real estate long enough where I know when the dips come. And it's cyclical too, just like anything else. And so they kicked the can down the road a little bit with the inflation of the money. When COVID happened, they inflated everything so rapidly that nothing could get wrecked, including real estate. Now it's getting wrecked. It's going to get wrecked. That's what I think. But I could be wrong. Who knows?
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We're going to let
Appreciate it,
SJ.
guys. Let us know if you want to talk to us about more. We're here all day until tomorrow, so hopefully we're hanging out tonight.
Right on. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, RG3.
I'll let you take over. We're getting ready for a raffle, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna do 2 raffles today. So I'm gonna do half of this stuff, half these fun little items we got here. So make sure you get your tickets out, everybody. Tickets out. There are several books. This is a new one. Very cool. A new book here. Oh, good stuff. All right, so first raffle number is, last 3 digits are 878. 878. Anyone? Going once. Going twice. Raffle ticket number 878. Yeah? No? No? All right. We're just going to set that aside over there. All right. All right. Number 2. All right. Last 3 digits are 849. Yeah, come on down. Yeah. So go ahead and you can choose a book, or there's, I think, 2 sets of coasters.
I think I'm gonna go with the knowledge.
Yeah, excellent. They're all great, honestly. I haven't seen this one yet, but this is a really great content creator in our ecosystem. They're all good. It's all good stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank y'all. Can I get a quick photo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, y'all put your hands up. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Okay, let's see, one more. Next is, last 3 digits are 869. 869. Where you all at? Sleeping? Right? Anyone? Bueller? 869? No? Okay. We're just going to keep on going. Next is 866. Ticket number 866. We got a winner? Winner, chicken dinner. Come on down. Congratulations. Excellent. Oh, you get to keep that. Hold on to that. Yeah. Because we're going to be giving away crypto at the end of this, some Pulse and Pulse X. Awesome. Congratulations. Yeah. What? Like yeah. Okay. All right. Next is last three digits are 857. 857. Yeah. Come on down.
I'm eyeballing those coasters.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. There's either we got a hex one or the triple decker. It's a set of two.
Oh,
Set of two. Mhm.
Okay. That way I can have a date.
There you go. Excellent. All right. And we're going to do one more. Oh, hey, that one just fell right out. 846. 846. Anybody? It's like every other ticket. No? 846? No? Ghosts? Okay. Nobody? Okay. All right, that's fine. All right. Last one. 861. Yeah. All right, cool. Let me just check your ticket. I just realized I forgot to do that. Bother. All right, so you can have either one of these books. We're gonna save this one for later, or okay, cool. Well, that is all for now. Kaylin, we got any announcements? The Queen coming on down.
Hello. Might be a little out of breath. I've been running. Originally, we were only providing lunch to our VIPs, but thanks to a very generous member of our community, Mr. Danny, we are now providing lunch to everybody. So thank you for that. So we just need a minute to get the plates, and then you can serve yourself lunch. But besides that, thank you. We'll have about an hour intermission, and then we'll come back. Did you want to say something before the intermission?
Real quick about that. Yeah, it's
Sure.
So there's quite a few folks here that I invited today. And, you know, I know this is kind of drinking from a fire hose, right? Some of y'all are looking at y'all some of this. But I just want to remind you what this is about. It's about educating. It's about sharing this information with you. And for those of y'all that are new to this, if you notice, nothing's for sale. Like nobody's come up here and been like, and for just $99.99, we can provide you with, you know, there's nothing being sold here. It's literally, we're just trying to educate people on this. Our lives have been changed, and we're trying to help change other people as well. And this is an amazing time to do it. So as far as the lunch thing, that was just like, you know what? I don't want people to have to go away, get stuck in traffic, that kind of thing, come back. So we just want to hang out. We can have a good time, visit, talk with folks, ask questions, and we can do that here, and that way we don't stay here. So that's why we did that. So
All right. Eat up, y'all. Enjoy your lunch break. We're going to reconvene at 2 p.m. Thank you. And for those of you watching my back right now, we are going to stop the live stream for lunch, and then we are going to have another button for you to click. So hang tight, stay tuned. We'll be back in about an hour. Thanks.
Healthy you. That's what you want. That's what you want.
Thank you.